What's up, guys? Welcome to BJJ and Brews. Before we get started with today's podcast, which I'm super excited to share with you all, I just wanted to answer a question that we've been getting from a lot of people, and that is contact info. So you can reach us on social media at BJJ and Brews on Instagram and Facebook. And in addition, you can email us and email the show at bjjandbrews@gmail.com. So that's bjjandbrews@gmail.com. So if you want to hit us up with an email, that's the show's email. And shout out to Dead Lizard Brewing Company here in Orlando. Our podcast today was fueled by their very delicious Key Lime Chameleon Cream Ale. Cream Ale. So highly delicious beer. Chris, myself, and Paul all enjoyed it. And Paul's not even a big beer drinker, so delicious, and that's what fueled the podcast today. And now, without further ado, let's get to the show.
I am? I'm cute? Oh, my mistake.
How are we cute? Wait, both of us?
Is everybody cute in your mind, Caroline?
Most people. Most. I care about.
Ah, okay.
Well, welcome the usurper of the smiliest jiu-jitsu guy. That was me. Now it's definitely Julian. Welcome to our podcast.
Julius.
Oh, my God.
This man's tipsy already, and it's only the afternoon.
I've already lost all credibility. It's like that one. Have you seen the interview where there's like a college film student interviewing John Cusack? And she's like, oh, it's so funny I'm interviewing you because my buddies just watched American Beauty the other day. He's like, I wasn't in that. She's like, you're not? Yes, you were. And he's like, no, that wasn't me. Because she thought he was Kevin Spacey. So she's interviewing completely the wrong person.
Well, there was also confusion where Samuel L. Jackson was confused with Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, that's even worse. Because like they were doing the thing.
Well, right. Your face is getting red, so I don't know.
So welcome, Julius. I'm sorry.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, man. I'm glad we were able to get you out. Awesome happenstance. We were I called, or you messaged me about Diablo, right?
Yes. I have never played a Diablo game in my life. But I've never played one. So I just started playing Diablo 3 like maybe a month or two ago.
What'd you create? Who's your first character?
First character was a barbarian.
Ah, yes.
Male or female?
Male.
I have friends that always play female characters.
I have friends like that too.
Hell, not this Negro. No.
So you actually, and I want to come off as a hardcore here, but you definitely need to play Diablo 2.
Yeah.
Even though the graphics might not hold up so well now, Diablo 2, I've logged a lot of hours. Diablo 3 seems like a departure from the real essence of what Diablo was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you're preaching to the choir.
And
I have
if you
no
play
idea.
Diablo 2 and somehow my PC Battle.net can interface with PS. Are you playing PS4 or what?
I play PS4.
PS4?
Yes.
Is it? You know, Battle.net is cross-platform.
Well, Diablo 2 is not available on.
Any console?
No.
Yeah, Diablo 2 is a PC only.
Because I still have my Diablo. I never went to Diablo 3, so.
Yeah, Diablo 2, especially with the expansion pack, Lord of Destruction, that was.
Oh my God! How do you like Diablo 3?
Dude, it was freaking cool. I would not think
you stopped?
No, I didn't stop.
Okay,
I'm still going. I actually thought I was going to put it down and get to a different game. I'm like, let me see what other character I can do and play with them, and it's actually getting kind of fun. That Star Wars game looks pretty kick-ass. I want to play that. But
what is that? The Old Republic or
no, the new one. What is that one called?
Oh, it's the one with the kid who played the Joker in Gotham. It's Fallen Order or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Fallen Order. It looks really cool.
Where does it stand in the whole Star Wars timeline?
It's at the end, like not the end, but it's like where they start talking about the First Order in there too. I think. I don't know. I've never
so
played
after
It's
6. I guess.
I don't know where it falls in the timeline, but it does seem to
I
be
did
more
not go to college
contemporary.
on the Star Wars credit, so I don't know.
I'm like a moderate Star Wars nerd, so I'm not super there. But Julius, welcome. Awesome, man. I'm so happy to have you on here.
I'm very humbled and happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
I feel as though like you and I know each other, but we don't know each other.
This is correct. You know each other through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And purely like 7 or 8 interactions. You know what I mean? But technically we share the same daddy, right?
Well, and
the same jiu-jitsu.
And the thing with
close to the same jiu-jitsu.
The thing for Julius with me is I was looking forward to this when you told me that you had secured this because Julius is someone that I've interacted with very minimally.
Oh, and he's like this like mythological creature, dude.
Well, he does look like a mythological creature. Like I was like the fucking Minotaur when I rolled with him yesterday. It was like the Minotaur has now passed my guard, and I will now suffer the consequences.
Oh yes, you will. Did he get you in spider? Did you go in?
This is no gi. This was no gi. This is no gi.
However, the thing about I'm just gonna go with first impressions because here's the first impressions of Julius. Number one, he gives me. I felt like we didn't even know each other well enough, but he gave me the warmest hug I've received on the mats. So, a great hugger, very warm, genuine guy. And then the thing that I always find amusing, even though it's extremely respectful, really, is the fact that you will wait on the side of the mat, raise your hand, and wait for Paul to acknowledge you and call you on.
That's the old traditional karate mimi, and Vu can vouch for that.
I mean, like you still to this day teach traditional karate, right?
Yeah, yes sir. That's my bread and butter right there. Every day I go teach karate to the kids and adults. But like whenever we were younger, like you had to ask permission to come on the mat, and still to this day I don't care. Even Paul says you don't have to raise your hand in your black belt. I'm like, Paul, I don't.
And that's
I'm sorry,
the thing.
dude.
Paul's like,
yeah, that's my thing too. Like, I mean, like you and I were late the other day. Technically, I could have just stepped on the mat, but like I still, it's
like you don't ring a doorbell to go and you don't ring a doorbell and not like go in somebody's house without like acknowledging it. Like you wouldn't open somebody's door, you would knock on the door. It's just a sign of respect for me and Vu being in a traditional martial arts background. That's what our instructors always taught us. You have respect when you come in somebody's house.
I know it's just, but you look the way you do it. You look like such a.
Innocent?
You look like it looks like just a student. Like you're just standing there. Like you wouldn't think the guy's wearing a black belt and put in 10+ years. You know what I mean?
No, it's always going to be a student. No matter how old you get, how high a belt you are, you're always going to be a student no matter what.
That's awesome, man. So, Julius, I know you and I come from fairly different traditional martial arts backgrounds.
Yes,
I'm from WTF Taekwondo. Why are you laughing?
Yes, laugh at him.
I'm
Mock
laughing
him.
because you're slinging it, and it's actually really cool.
And no, so like I did 11 years of that.
Yes, sir.
What's your traditional martial arts
My
background?
traditional background is like Shito karate, kind of like you think like Shotokan, basically same tree but just different forms. I started off with I started off down in Miami where my mom and my dad used to live down in Miami. Then we moved up here, and then I had bad asthma, so the doctor would always say, like, you need something to get his lungs built up. And I couldn't really run with basketball. I couldn't really run with football. So then I met this karate guy that was next to the doctor's office, literally the next door over. And it was a guy called Frank Silverman, and he had a school called...
So he was down south first?
No. I moved up here.
I
moved up here. He was already up here. My martial arts instructor down south, I don't even remember his name. He was like a guy in a little strip mall, a little hole in the wall place.
The impression was strong that you don't even remember his name.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. Like he made us make sure we had good discipline, but he wasn't like a dick about it. He was always just, you guys, we gotta make sure we're following directions. It's like that. Like when you step in the room, it's like that person demands the respect without asking for it. So it's not like he's being a real hard butt to you. He talks, he stands up proper, he talks proper. So he's like, you have to like almost like eat it and regurgitate it at the same time. So then I came up here with Frank Silverman, and then I started getting better with my my asthma.
That was intensity martial arts at the time, right?
No, that was Central Florida Championship Karate, CFCK.
Okay, CFCK, but they had team intensity. Right?
Yes,
okay,
that is yes.
I remember them from the U.S. Open, man.
Yes, that is team intensity.
Were you? Did you ever?
No.
No, really?
No,
okay.
I wasn't cool enough to be on team intensity.
You mean you weren't willing to pay for it?
No, I wasn't cool enough. No, I'm serious. I just was not cool enough.
I'm sorry.
No.
I need to chill out with the bashing. So.
Oh, dude. It's a free country. I think everybody's kind of getting a little weak to their emotion, not be able to talk free will. It's okay. Talk what you want. It's all good. No, but I wouldn't say I was. See, now we're going on two different roads because I'm
way different.
I'm not a small guy. I mean, I'm a big guy, and I like lifting weights, and I like being able to.
How tall are you, and how much do you weigh?
I am 6'4", and I weigh 265 pounds.
Okay, I feel a little better.
God.
I feel a little better about
now.
about being smashed. I'm like, okay.
First off, I never would have thought you were 265.
Never?
No.
Oh,
I mean, like you carry it very well, right?
Well, thank you.
It's also like muscle, so like it doesn't show as 265.
I understand that. But it's all in the ass, I think.
No,
You got thick thighs. You got thick ass thighs. I won't lie about that. I was looking at this. I was like, this is a fucking tree trunk coming through my guard right now.
But here's the thing: is like Julius, you can scale it back. Like you're very good at matching energy.
Yes.
Like you're very, very good at it. You know?
I like when I go with like when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, I'm like I'm not as fat, and I had to fight. I did jiu-jitsu differently because I didn't really have the opportunity to do like nighttime classes, so I had to figure out where I can train. So most of the time when I was training with pro guys. So those guys are like legit, like you swim with sharks. Like you don't get a chance to like baby feet around it.
How did you? So let's go from the transition. You were doing a
CFCK, right?
CFCK.
Yeah,
CFCK.
So I was doing CFCK, then went through there, started working through them, summer camps and everything. Then I went to.
How old were you at the time?
I was. Well, this was me between like ages 6 to.
Ages 6?
I moved here when I was 6. I've been doing martial arts since I was 3. So.
Oh my god!
So
I thought I had some pretty good chops. You got me hands down, dude.
And then I moved up here when I was 6. Then I've been with Frank Silverman until this day. Like we still have good business relationship together. But me and my wife branched off and bought our own school from.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're living my dream, to be honest. I'm living vicariously through you at this point.
And then when I was about, I want to say 20, like early 20s, mid 20s, I met the guy called Renato Tavares, and he's a real good jiu-jitsu guy. This guy is probably like 5'5", weighs like maybe 120 pounds, soaking wet, maybe a little bit more. He's like jacked the crap, and they brought him over for a seminar, and he's I'm thinking like, I'm a big guy. I can take this guy. He's pretty small. I don't know what jiu-jitsu is, but I think I can take him.
So what size were you at that moment?
Like when I was at that, right, I was still like 6'4", and I was like maybe about 280, maybe 2.
And how old are you?
This is like mid-20s.
Okay.
This is mid-20s.
Around 2000, must be 2004, 2005, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, around there.
So just to make sure I'm following the timeline, you'd already opened your karate school.
No, I was still working for CFCK at the time.
Okay, you were still working
this is
as
still,
an instructor.
Yeah.
Dean University,
Yes.
right?
No, I was still as assistant instructor. I was just assisting. I was just
Assistant
helping.
instructor.
This
Yeah.
is also where you met your wife, right? At CFCK?
That is correct.
Yeah.
We met our wife on a
I
fight night.
know your wife's mom. I used to work with her.
Really?
Yeah.
You know Miss Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura Crouch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's a small world.
So she found
See,
out.
we're actually our family now. See?
Exactly. Like I was working with her, and she was like, "Oh, you and your coach are beating up my future son-in-law and stuff." And I'm like, "I don't know who he is," because I train night classes.
Right.
And so like I was like, "Oh my god!" And then later on, I find out, and I know Kelly and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
Miss
anyway.
Laura is real cool, man. She's one of the coolest people I've ever met. She's really cool.
But so you were working at the Dean University
Yes.
CFCK at the
Yes.
time in that Publix Plaza, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you were, it sounds like already martial arts karate was your life.
Oh, yeah. I knew, like, when I was young, I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. I didn't really want to do anything
Really?
else.
So that was boom. This is what I want to do.
That was it.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't want to do anything else. Like senior project, like I don't know if you guys would do it for senior project. You had to do like a thesis or something on what you wanted to do. My thesis was on martial arts, so I literally like
Really?
brought my instructor to the school.
That's awesome.
I had like almost like a 10-page paper I had to write, and I like everything has been up to martial arts. Like I didn't want to do anything else in my life.
I mean, so just to give a little perspective, right? I don't come across as particularly machismo.
I'm bad. I never badmouth you, father.
I am
He referred to Paul as father.
shared daddy.
Hey, what up, peace?
But like my son's middle name is Maximus. Just to give a quick aside, Julius's son is named Helio.
Correct. His name is Helio.
That's
Mobley.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't want to play that game, but does that mean you love jiu-jitsu more than karate?
This is like a very fine line.
Go
That's
say
hard.
it. Go say it. I want to
will-
hear it.
I can't say that I love jiu-jitsu more than karate, but I do in a sense that karate was something that helped me that feel I can do something without health-wise being a hindrance. Jiu-jitsu made me be okay with my body because when I grew up, all the guys around me were like you guys. You guys look lean, you're strong, you're cut up. That wasn't me.
Pre-dad bod Chris, by the way.
All the guys were like $150 and they're like skinny, and I'm this 200-pound guy, and I can't move fast. I can't run that fast. But when I found jiu-jitsu, I'm like, you know what? I'm flexible. I can do a split, and I can also roll and keep a pace. And I think I can do this. And I fell in love with it. First day I ever got tapped out like 20 times. I want to keep doing this.
Was it Tavares?
It was Tavares.
So let's go back to that moment. So you're saying Hanato gave a seminar at...
We had this old kickbox center that he came over and did a seminar for.
And that's when you were first exposed to jiu-jitsu.
That was my first experience with jiu-jitsu. Then the next day, we had like a day camp that we do for kids when there was no school. So me and my buddy Brian's like one of my best friends. I've known him for years since we were like 10.
Does he do jiu-jitsu?
No, he wrestles though. There's a story behind that. He does wrestle though, and he's done jiu-jitsu a little, but not a lot. But he got me in a triangle choke before I knew what one was. And he's like, "How'd you do that?" He's like, "I've been watching this Royce Gracie video," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So then the next day, I figured out where a school was, and let alone Hanato was actually doing doing classes over there. So I started doing classes.
Was that the one on Colonial?
It was on Dean University.
Oh, it was the one across the street from you.
Across the street.
Okay. So he owned that first.
He started doing jiu-jitsu there first.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. And before Frank and Mike got involved?
This is actually as it. There was like
business
partners together. They're all business partners together, so they had this whole thing.
I know.
You're
I'm
good.
not sure if we're good to talk about this.
Chris is the keeper of the canon.
I'm like
He's
the
keeper.
chronicler. I'm the watcher, right? Like
the librarian.
the watcher.
So, I did have a question just on this whole timeline because you said this was around 25.
Right.
Did you go to college?
No, I did not go to college.
So you went straight from high school into
learning how to run a martial arts school.
So you're their golden child.
I wouldn't say that, but I'd say that I've been dedicated to martial arts all my life.
So you were involved before it was championship martial arts, before Frank and Mike got together, right? When they were competitors?
I was with Silverman from day one. Like the day one he opened his school, I was there till all the merging and everything else. I've been with them no matter what.
Really?
I've been with them since
that's awesome,
almost day
man.
one.
So you're like true old school.
I would say yes in a humble tongue. Yes.
No, that's awesome though.
Okay, so and then also time wise. So when Hanato showed up, what year was this roughly?
4
maybe like something like that, like 04, 05, something like that.
Was 06.
He was still at knockouts.
Well, that's my question. How do you? So walk us through how you got from Hanato opening your eyes to you're now training with Paul.
So one day, like I think they didn't know, like Hanato and like Frank and Mike. I don't know the whole logistics of it.
Did you start training jiu-jitsu at that point?
I've already been training. I already been training with Hanato for maybe like about 4 months.
Okay.
Or something like that. And then Paul came over and moved over to where Hanato was in the kickbox center. Then I met Paul.
Okay.
And then Paul started teaching class. And
Paul was a brown belt at this time?
Paul was a brown belt at this time. Paul is like the oldest brown belt I've ever met in my life. He was a really like old brown belt.
I remember when he got his brown belt.
You do?
Yeah. So Wait
a minute, hang on. I'm sorry to interrupt. When you mean he's the oldest, I feel like
he was a brown belt for a really long time.
Oh,
not
okay.
like old as an age. Like
I was gonna say, it's like I know people.
No. He's like he was a brown belt for a really long time.
Well, I know that some of that was due to the fact that when he went down to Coconut Creek, Laborio told him like, "I'm not going to give you a black belt, right?" Even though he'd been training for a while,
right.
Brown belt. He's like, "I'm not going to give it." And Paul's told me is like, I didn't care. I was an MMA fighter. Like that wasn't my thing. I was trying to fight.
Yeah,
so that's probably at least partly what's going on. But now I understand because I thought when you said old, I was thinking he's not that old.
No, yeah.
But he'd been at that belt level for a long time.
Yeah, gotcha. And then he had been starting classes, and then the rest is history. I've been with him ever since. So ever since he was in that place, I just been.
So what was your impression of Paul when you first met him?
Honestly, Paul seemed like a little bit of a standoff person. You come train.
Is that so?
you come train, and then you kind of do your thing, and you go about your day. And then the more you get to know him, like the man will give you the shirt off his back if you needed it. He's like Yoda. He's like the Jedi Master.
Well, that's his. It's what Paul Rodriguez Jedi Master on Instagram.
Yeah, right. Like I mean. And he is a little bit. He does drink weird things, and he does live, and he does wander off into the woods.
Dude, this would be kind
He's
of
the
a guy
true
who would
Yoda,
sit
right?
in a room with the lights off with a candle reading poetry somehow, some way. He'd do that just to do it.
This is true.
So you've loved martial arts since the age of 3.
Yes.
You've dedicated it to your life, or your life to it rather.
Yes.
What
Which I think is awesome. Like I've got to interrupt. Like the fact that you're. So it's probably the beer talking, but are you guys familiar with Joseph Campbell?
Yes, the hero's journey.
The hero's journey.
You know who loves Joseph Campbell? Noah.
George Lucas.
You know who else loves?
Who?
No,
Matt Thornton.
Matt Thornton loves Joseph Campbell. So there. So just as an aside, Noah thinks that SBG, Straight Blast Gym, is the cheesiest thing ever, and I swear by it because it's a part of my like early martial arts journey, and it turns out that BJJ Globetrotters is technically an SBG thing. So now Noah's having to eat so much crow, and so there, Julius, proceed.
Well, let me just say just one thing is and this is to Julius's what he's doing. Joseph Campbell studies mythology. He's subsequently passed away, but he's a big into myths. And you said the hero's journey and that sort of thing. But one of the things that he said that stuck with me, and I was exposed to him at a young age, was follow your bliss.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are doing that, I think is, and I mean that, I'm not saying that to be cheesy or cliche or anything. I think it's awesome because I think far too many people don't have the courage to do that. And the fact that you're doing that, and the fact that it's working out, and the fact that it will work out. If anyone just does that, it will work out. Like, you just have to have the faith in that. I think it's fucking awesome. So I just want to...
I appreciate it. I really do.
It's, man, like, for you to even just go in that route, like, you love it so much that nothing else was in your mind.
Yeah, nothing.
Like, that's awesome.
Nothing.
Like, you weren't clouded by, like, the sort of, like, American dream of like you go out and you get a job and
work hard, work a little overtime, retire early, right. Then you get the boat and the house and enjoy life. No, it's like you enjoy every day because you're doing what you love. And
well, it's still this is still a job, no matter like it's still
Absolutely.
Hard work, it's still a grind. I mean, but it's something that I wanted to do. It's nothing that I like had a backup plan.
How did your parents feel about it? Because I mean, parents. I mean, like now as both of us are parents,
right?
I mean, like, it's, you know, you want the, quote, best for your kid, right? But ultimately, you want your kid to be happy.
Of course.
And in your mindset is a little bit different than mine because I'm a first-generation American where my parents were like, you go out, you get a good job that has benefits and blah, blah, blah. You've gone the entrepreneurial route. Like, how did your parents feel about that?
This is a funny story. So my mom was one of the coolest people I've ever known, and my dad, too. But my mom knew I was cut out for karate the first class she put me in.
Really?
She saw how happy it made me. She saw how
at the age of 3.
She saw how happy it made me. She saw how my asthma wasn't getting like being occurred by any of the movements I was doing. She's like, you're meant to do this. So for years, she's like, doesn't matter what you're doing karate. Doesn't matter, broken arm, broken leg. You don't want to go. We're taking you. Suck it up. You're going. I don't want to go. Get up. I will take your ass off this couch. You're going to go into karate. Every day if I wanted to go, she called Shihan. We call him for Silverman Shihan. I'll call him on the phone. Or Sensei Jim when he was there. Yeah, I'll call him on the phone. You get your ass to the school. You're going to karate class. So then we went to karate class, and then she just kept on me. So then time came where it was like, met Michelle. You know, we met each other, fell in love.
Michelle's your wife.
Michelle's my wife. To this day, best thing that ever happened to me. I don't know how I freaking go through the day without her.
It's funny how that works out for us goofy guys, right?
Yeah, it does. I actually, funny story with her. I actually met her. She was always like my crush. Like we always worked around each other, but she was always my crush. So one night we used to have these fight nights for karate where we would all get to schools together and we used to spar for like 2-3 hours. So we get.
What was she doing? Sorry to interrupt. What was she doing at the time?
She was doing karate too.
Karate.
No, she worked at the other karate school.
She worked at another one.
Oh, all this cross pollination. Which one was she at?
She was at the one in Oviedo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was the one in Oviedo.
Really? Okay, all right.
Yeah, she was the one in the
what's the coach's name? Is like it's a jiu-jitsu guy's name, but it's not a jiu-jitsu guy.
Her coach or her instructor?
Her
she used to
instructor
have
was
Mike Smith.
Mike Smith. Okay.
Mike
all right.
Smith, you'd be here.
There's
used to be-
another Mike Smith that's involved in karate. Elsewhere, but either way, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not him. This is a totally different guy.
It's 2 different guys. I know.
So we used to meet up these fight nights. So then Michelle, Michelle wanted to spar. And Michelle, my wife is one of the toughest girls I know. She's the blonde hair, blue eyed girl. She's short and
She's not short.
huh?
She's not short.
Yeah, she's short. To me,
I mean,
she's
to
short.
you, she's very
exactly.
short.
So
but
she's
like,
short.
To us, she's a normal human
So
being.
she comes up, and some of these college guys would be like, "Oh no, you can't fight. You're too pretty." She knocked them out like with head kicks. Like seriously, she knocked those guys out.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And then when we had fight nights, no one wanted to fight her because she wants to fight the guys because the guys want to fight, but she won't fight them. And then I'm like, "Oh, Julius is here," and like you guys said, "Oh man, this guy's some big mystic beast kind of motherfucking thing," and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to fight Julius."
Oh,
Like,
I just heard you cuss. Explicit tag, ladies and gentlemen.
so then I said, "Okay, I'll fight you," and then we fought, and then like I'm not some douchebag. When I see somebody who's not my size, I'll like go light, but we'll still go.
Oh, so you're a good training partner.
I got nothing but man.
I do have a.
And you two can vouch for that.
I went.
Yeah.
I went with him yesterday, and I was complaining that he released the choke because I was like, I'm fine. I'm like turning into like I felt like I was okay.
Face like an eggplant at that.
Sure, but I felt fine because I turn it like I do something where I grab the hook and I'm turning. So yes, it sucks, but I don't feel like I'm being choked. But he's a decent human being, and he let go, and I was like, no, keep squeezing. Like let me work.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not doing I'm not doing that.
Are you just in this for some weird S&M thing?
No. Oh, I'm not. What is that? Judo? Did I show you that? Okay. I'm gonna find this. There's a guy. So side tangent. We'll get back to it. Yes.
Italian guy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a guy. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast though.
No,
but he's.
I'm familiar with it from the Matt Burn podcast.
Yeah. So there's a guy. So what's funny is it came about to me because I follow a guy on Instagram that's a Globetrotter instructor. His name is Wim. He's Belgian. It's Wim Pooter or De Pooter. I apologize, Wim. But he's a black belt. But anyway, this guy is from Belgium, and I think he's a 3rd degree black belt now. But he posted on Instagram, "Judo so-and-so strikes again," and he shows a message, and he's like, "Hello, I'm 5'9", such and such, shoe size 42, looking for black belt to strangle me so I can test my limits, you know." And there's this guy that's going around whose thing, for lack of a better term, his fetish is he goes around to black belts and he wants to be choked out by black belts. That's his thing.
He just wants challenges.
No, he just wants to.
Dude, you say that like so. Like,
which is funny because when I told
I don't want to alienate any of our audience.
When I told
Judo dude is listening.
When I told Juana,
Not a black belt, by the way, because I don't get into that.
So these guys are, obviously a lot of black belts were weirded out by this, but they're like, "Is this guy real? Is he trolling?" I told this story to Juana Conda. He's like, "Oh shit, I'll choke that motherfucker out for $20." Anyway, I digress.
Anyway, but you're very good at scaling. Like, you're excellent at it. And I have to wonder if, just to go back a little bit, you and I are both traditional martial artists.
Yes,
first,
sir.
And I think that sort of, as much as I dog it now, like, I wouldn't be who I am without that experience.
Yes,
right?
sir.
How do you, and I dog it a lot now. You probably heard it. But like, not that I discount it, but it's definitely taught me how to learn. It's definitely given me a certain amount of like mat presence and charisma and ability to learn.
the structure.
Yeah. How do you reconcile the traditional martial arts with a much more progressive martial art?
Especially here with Paul.
Who's the least traditional guy ever?
Honestly, I would have to a little bit disagree. I think Paul actually is very traditional.
Really?
In the sense that
How so? Yeah.
in the sense that Paul will give you the time of day when you give the time of day. If you don't put in the work, he doesn't give you. He doesn't acknowledge
Yeah,
anything.
I guess that's the
And-
epitome of old school, right?
And that's what makes something so traditional is that if you don't put in the work, you don't get rewarded for anything. If you don't put in the work, you're not gonna get anything. You put in the work, you're gonna get rewarded. And I try not to in my mind, anytime I'm teaching or anytime I'm talking to somebody, I try to refer back to me just to see the story I can kind of reflect on it. Because when I was a white belt, I would be going into classes with all the guys who did MMA because they still have regular jobs and they come in the afternoon. So like I didn't know that much jiu-jitsu, but I loved it. I don't care. I got my butt kicked so many times, how many tap outs, stitches, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I just want to go. I don't care how many times I get tapped out. I'm just gonna go. So I just kept going. I kept going. Then sooner or later, I start figuring the timing out. I start figuring the moves out. Then I remember one day Paul had a bag of belts, and I'm like, okay, what's those belts? And he opened it up. They're all blue belts. I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right. So he started handing out belts, and he handed me a blue belt. He's like, okay, all the higher belts are getting tired of getting beaten by a white belt. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I thought that was actually very, very kind of like old school traditional, because think about it. Back in the day when your old instructor did something, when you did something right, really, really good, he handed you a belt. Now, with traditional aside, there's testing that goes on with this. So there's certain moves that you have to be able to do, but then at the end of the day, if you can't do the moves in real life with somebody else not letting you do it, where should there be a belt progression at the time?
So I know you own a gym now, right?
Yes, sir.
Like, and I don't. If you want to cut this off, please do. Like you own a gym, you teach. What your gym is Spartan?
My gym, my
Spartan
gym is
Jiu-Jitsu,
Spartan, Spartan Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yep.
Spartan Jiu-Jitsu. It's a Jiu-Jitsu gym first.
No, it's a karate gym first.
Oh, okay. Please tell us about your gym, your curriculum. Like, what's the balance between Jiu-Jitsu versus traditional karate? Please tell us.
See, now this is me going a little rogue because I'm not. I try to be traditional, but I'm not, because I'm doing Jiu-Jitsu in a karate school. I'm doing karate school and jiu-jitsu school.
Which is the most bizarre thing, because to me they're completely independent of one another, right?
They're totally separate. They're totally separate.
Seeing your stories on Instagram is entertaining, because in one story you've got kids like doing spinning kicks and kicking like targets above the air, and then the next
I'm gonna have to get in on this.
Then you got people like rolling, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah. So like, do you like? There's that curriculum. You said they're independent of one another.
Yes.
How much crossover is there between the student base?
None. There's no crossover.
Really?
No.
Absolutely none?
It's only if the kids choose it. If they choose they want to come do grappling, they'll come do grappling. If they don't want to, they don't do it.
Well, okay. What percentage of enrollment is karate? What percentage of enrollment is jiu-jitsu?
Honestly, it's about 50-50.
Wow. Really?
Like some kids come in, they just want to do karate. Some kids come in, they just want to do jiu-jitsu. About half of them all do jiu-jitsu and karate.
What percentage of your student base is adults versus children?
I got a lot more kids than I do adults.
I mean, I think that's just
that's just when the business. Yeah, for the business venture we're in right now, we have more kids than adults. But we have most of the adults are all like moms and dads that live around the corner. Their kids do class and they want to lose weight, get in shape, so they come do karate or jiu-jitsu.
So you do adult karate and kids karate, adult jiu-jitsu and kids jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir. And
you've been able to, and you don't push, which is you don't strike me as a particularly sales-oriented person.
No, I try not to be. You have to a little bit in this for the business we're in. Not be pushy, but you have to be a little bit of a salesman because you're trying to sell somebody a reason why they need this in their life. Like, my life is good. I don't have anything. Do you not defend yourself? No. Okay. So what happens if somebody comes up and wants to take something? What if somebody comes up and you need to defend yourself or your family? Oh, I don't know. I'll let my husband do it. I'll let somebody else do it.
I'll let my husband do it. That's terrible.
Well, I've heard that. I've heard that a lot with some of the.
Your husband's always. I mean, that's the same as like gun ownership.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
but if you don't have a gun, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. So like, let me ask you then. I mean, like, because like I've gone all in on a live martial arts at this point. Like I'm a Muay Thai guy. I'm a Jiu-Jitsu guy.
Right.
I thank my instructor for my experiences with him doing traditional martial arts, but like for the most part, I've not determined, but like on my own volition, have just decided that I'm just not going to do that anymore because there's not as much applicability, if that's even a word, to what I'm looking for in a martial art. How do you, living literally 1 foot in one world and 1 foot in the other, reconcile like how you sell karate to a student? Like, is it that applicable to self-defense when we know that something like Muay Thai, and actually I know you've had amateur boxing fights because Dorian cornered you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you reconcile that with one versus the other?
You're trying to ask which one's better to sell? Is that what you're trying to ask?
I'm just saying, like, how do you say, like, because I know. I mean, I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm trying not to.
No.
But like the idea that like you and I, for the most part, know that something like Muay Thai is a more alive martial arts, battle tested, than something like traditional karate.
Correct.
But if you're trying to sell the benefit of something like traditional karate to a student, have you modified your curriculum rather to make it more alive against resisting opponents versus the sort of traditional prearranged sort of stuff?
You just hit the nail on the head when I changed my curriculum when I opened my school.
Okay, so you made your own. Okay, please elaborate.
No. So now this is where you're starting to get into my style of martial arts is traditional when we do kata. When we do kata, which is forms, that's when the traditional is. But when we talk about doing anything that consists of fighting, self-defense, or anything else, it's not traditional. It's all what I've experienced with Paul, Laborio, Jason, Julian. I put all that on the map for the kids and the adults because that's what works. And that's why I know works. So that's what I teach. And yes, we do still some of the point stuff with the side kicks, because the kids like doing that.
Do you guys do any step sparring, like 1, 2, 3 step sparring?
What is 1, 2, 3 step sparring? What is that?
Oh, okay. So that's a karate thing, or excuse me.
I'm gonna say karate for how many years? I've never heard one.
So like one step sparring is like, I mean, and you've seen it before. I know you've seen it, but it's like I start off with like a low block, and then like I step in with a like. Oh,
you're talking about the traditional like Koshi Kempo kind of style? Where
and then I just step in, boom, and then you do like this series of like 9 maneuvers, right?
Oh, you're talking about like hinchy hose or something like that.
I'm not sure what the traditional term for it.
Right.
I call it 1, 2, 3 step sparring.
Right.
But how do you? I mean, like.
That's what we call them.
It's still a part of the curriculum. I mean, it's good for exercise, maybe.
Karate is good for a sense of structure because you have your white belts, you have all the way up to black belt. You have a structure of techniques that you have to do to get to your goal of black belt. Then when you get to black belt, you have a set of goals that you need to go to the next one. So karate, in a sense, is good for everybody because it gives you goals that are not far to reach in between. Like you got your white belt, the yellow belt. You have a kata, a couple moves to do, and you get your yellow belt. So that's not bad for people to get. It's a structure. Just like me and you are both martial arts. I've seen you on the mat. You're dedicated. You got your mind straight. You know how to do it. And that's because we've had the discipline put in us.
There's a skill to learning as well.
Exactly. You've had the discipline, the skill put in us to focus and learn when somebody's teaching something to us. You know, and I'm not saying that you can't do that with any other sport, but martial art was what got us to make sure we're focusing up. 100%. Yeah, because like there's like some people can do football. I don't want football. I can play basketball. I'm really good at basketball. It wasn't my passion. Martial arts is what got my head focused and straight on goals, having structures, making sure I was disciplined, and that's what did it for me for martial arts. And that's what karate does for like a lot of the kids is it gives them that discipline, that structure, that hands-on. The kind of situation where they don't get in any kind of sport, or like let's say and please don't anybody get upset or offended. Like if you got the geeky kid or the loner or the person who doesn't make any friends or not social. I have seen so many kids in my school that are socially awkward, never talk to anybody, don't have any friends. In about 3 days, they're like a part of this family that we created, and they're making friends. They're talking. The mom's like, "How do you get that? How'd you do that?" We didn't do anything. We just gave them a situation where they're comfortable. No one's judging them. No one's looking down at them. You come in, and you're learning something bigger than yourself, which is martial arts. So martial arts is always helping.
Dude, that's mission accomplished, right? Like that's martial arts, right? Like awesome. Like I love that. So what? Julius, you're an extremely talented person. One of the most talented I've ever met.
I appreciate that with a grain of salt. I humbly
like,
take that.
100%, right? Like I've rolled with. I've been this. You've been in this for a lifelong adventure too.
Yes, sir.
But like in rolling with, like I still have to work very hard. I'm not saying that you don't work very hard, mind you. I have to work extremely hard just to maintain a mediocre level of jiu-jitsu. You've kickboxed. I've watched your boxing matches. You're incredible on the mat in jiu-jitsu. Why haven't you pursued like a professional level of competition?
I just haven't really gotten the bug to do it. I mean, it's not like I don't. It's not.
Did you compete in traditional karate coming up the ranks?
Yes, that I did. I did compete in like kata. I competed in sparring. I just don't know. I just never really got the bug to do it. I was having so much fun just fighting with the pros, and going home at night, not having to worry about doing anything else. But honestly, I just really didn't have the bug to do it. I mean, just really nothing. I don't get pleasure out of beating somebody in a pummel, bloody mess for everybody watching. I just don't really. That doesn't excite me. What excites me is I can go over and spar with you, and we both go home if we've got like bloody noses, whatever. That was fun because we're not trying to kill each other for somebody to watch. I just like that aspect, Just like I don't care about anybody else. Like, oh, I want to see this fight. That's like I don't really care about that. That's not me. There's plenty of other people that do that, but I'm not one of those people.
Let's bring this back, like the timeline, because I'm still kind of curious here on the backstory. Where we left off with the timeline, you were a white belt, and then you had just gotten handed a blue belt because Paul was like, these guys are getting sick of getting
beat by a white belt.
Yeah, beat by a white belt. So talk us through your training from blue belt ultimately to black belt with Paul. So how did that go? How was your time at blue belt, purple, brown? Did you have any breaks?
What do you mean by break? Like
did you have a hiatus due to life, due to injury, or?
Are you talking about like? Oh, okay. So Or
were you able to train consistently this whole time?
I was able to train consistently. I've never really had like a bad injury except for one time when me and Steve Ramos were rolling.
Ooh.
My pinky.
I've heard a lot of stories about this mythical Steve Ramos.
Steve Ramos,
rolling rough and rolling hard. He does both.
Steve Ramos. I will say it to this day and give him credit. The way he warmed up and did class, so I trained with him for like a year and a half, is the reason why sometimes I don't quit and when we get in a deep deep hole or a bad spot, because the training and the drilling that we've done when I was like a blue belt with him, the wrestling, the positions, the grinding, the whole thing is because of him. He was such a great instructor when he was here with Paul, and then Paul was just like somebody had like one of my Mr. Metzger always asked me. He sometimes asks me like, because I train all over Orlando when I can get a chance to train when I'm ever in the area. So like some of the people that helped shape my jiu-jitsu was Paul and Paul Laborio and Tarsus Paula. He's a real good really good jiu-jitsu. I hope you guys get a chance to meet him one day. His jiu-jitsu.
Chris, no.
Tarsus, I know.
Yeah, Tarsus.
I remember when Tarsus came to Orlando.
Yeah, dude, Tarsus is so good. I've been with him. Me and him been like best buddies for a while. So and then I trained with Mike Lee. I've trained with all these other guys. And then somebody asked me, if you had to define Paul, how would you define him as an instructor? And I try to put it into words, and not saying that I don't want to try to like make somebody upset about the words I say, but if I had to pick Paul, I say Paul is somebody who's going to help you. He helps mold clay. Like if you have a hard rock, he'll mold you in the clay and make you better. So he'll teach you how to be a better grinder, and it'll come out better because of it. That's how. If I can say anything about Paul, that's what he is. He'll help you figure out how to grind. It's not going to be fun, but he'll show you how to do it right. And you'll be better for it when you get out of it, And that's what I say. In my experience with Paul, I didn't really have a really bad injury hiatus. I had to take like maybe 3 months off for a broken toe that was really bad. Like my pinky toe was now literally an L, so I had to prop it back in. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So I had to pop it back in, and then the other one was just
from jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, from jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I've never had a broken bone in karate in my life, except for when I broke my foot. But that wasn't a big thing. This one was way worse, But yeah. Other than that, like after purple belt, it was pretty good.
So how long were you a blue belt then?
See, here's the problem. I don't really remember.
Yeah, you forget,
I just forget. I don't even remember.
Have you gone on Belt Checker yet?
Mm-mm.
So there's this new belt.
That's a thing called Belt Checker?
Belt Checker, right? Like so,
.com.
BeltChecker.com. I think it's made by the guy from BJJ Globetrotters, right?
It seems to be a Globetrotter affiliated thing. I don't know if Christian did it, but
so it's a thing that's like, because like not everybody's registered with the IBJJF. I don't know if are you?
I am not.
I'm not either, right? So like technically I'm like still a white belt, right? By IBJJF. Globetrotter is Belt Checker is a I'm like 4 deep.
Attaboy.
Yeah, bud. Belt Checker is a crowdsourced
verification system for belt ranks.
For belt. Yeah, there you go.
Because of fake. Have you guys seen those fake black belt videos?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to avoid,
I
right?
love watching
I don't think
those.
it's a problem. I think it's awesome because the only person that gets effed in that is the person that's faking it.
Right, but like that goes against, to me at least, and maybe it's you, like the idea of like dojo storming to verify somebody's belt is like that goes against like the martial arts tradition. Like,
I mean, this seems like it. Honestly,
But
worst
there's a certain way you go about it though. Like you
it
can,
seems like humble bragging to me a little bit. Like, oh look, I'm verified on such and such.
but no, but you can tell by the you walk into a school, you can tell if the motherfucker knows if he knows what he's doing or not.
exactly. So like
you can
like,
clearly
the results
tell.
should speak for itself, right?
100%.
Like if you see somebody in like board shorts, a belt, and a top that doesn't look like it's fit, you know that guy that probably doesn't never thrown a punch in his life.
But yeah, and that's
Like-
where like I just feel as though the idea of like seeking, I don't know, it's weird because I can see something like that becoming like a very toxic environment of like, I don't like somebody, so I'm going to like Rotten Tomatoes them and like rally a bunch of people who
that
don't
happens
like them.
anytime in any business.
And I don't like that, right? Like, so
But you have people that are around you that can vouch for you that you know you're not like that.
exactly.
And that's how this system works. Essentially, once you're verified, you have to verify your identity, and then you need to get.
I'm trying to get verified as a black belt. That's 100 votes in my favor.
It's hard, but once
I
you
know a lot of people, but like I don't know a lot of. I know a lot of people in Central Florida, but I'm not a competitor, and B, you're not a competitor either, Julius. So like, I've only traveled so far. Like, I know a lot of people in Central Florida, but like they're not on that website yet. So like, I wouldn't be able to get verified, right? So that technically, I'm an illegitimate black belt.
and that's the thing. It seems to be kind of like it favors a clickiness. Like if your click's on, then everyone votes for each other.
Exactly, and that's where I don't know, like, and that's one of the weird things about jiu-jitsu, right? And maybe you can attest this, Julius. Like, with karate and traditional martial arts in general, there's an objective measure of I need to accomplish this to achieve this. With jiu-jitsu, it's so subjective, right? Like, we kind of talked about on our first podcast. I don't know if you listened to it. But, like, Julius, I'm one of the most insecure now black belts ever. Like, I
don't
question
think that
myself.
ever goes away when whoever black belt you are.
Do you mean to tell me, Julius?
Well, that's the thing. Let's go back. So it's like we've lost. Okay, so you said I've lost track of how long I was at purple, brown, etc. At least go to how did you get promoted? How did that go down? And then how did you feel? To answer his point, how did you feel when you were promoted to black belt?
I didn't know what was happening that day either.
Well, of course you didn't.
Like,
know.
what were the circumstances?
There was nothing. Like I literally came. Paul's like, "Are you gonna come to graduation?"
What year was this?
I don't remember. I think it was
He
like
doesn't even know,
I think it was
right?
like 3 years ago. I think, or 4 years ago, maybe. I don't
Did
even
anyone
remember.
else get promoted to black belt with you?
No, I was the only one.
By yourself?
I was by
Wait,
myself.
who- Wait, who went first? You or Cap?
No, Cap got it first.
Cap. Okay.
So Cap's the first.
Cap's
black
the first black belt.
Dylan.
No, Dylan got it after Julian. No. First it was.
This is how
it was,
bad we
no,
are about like
it was
subjectivity
Cap,
of everything.
It was Cap.
Cap was the first
It was
Paul
Cap.
Rodriguez black belt.
Yes, it was Cap. Then it was me.
Number 2.
Then it was Julian. Then it was Dylan. Then it was.
I'm looking at the wall.
Then it was either Zach or Tommy.
No, it's Tommy.
Tommy.
Then it was
Ryan.
Reddy Bravo.
Yeah.
And then
Zach.
and then
Zach and then Jim.
Nick.
And then Jim and then Nick. Yeah.
No, Jim's the last. Jim was the one before you. Before you.
Jim was
in Collie.
before me
Yes.
in Collie, yes.
Yes. So yeah, that I don't even like. He just came up and said, "God, we got somebody who's a real good traditional martial artist," and yada yada yada. He's like, "Julius," I'm like, "Oh, holy!" I'm like, "I got a black belt now." And it was,
Dude,
it was just
did
really
you cry?
surreal because I didn't. No, dude, hell yeah, I cried. Like,
Yeah, all right.
The man tears flowed.
It was
Dude,
so strong.
it's something that is very, very sentimental. That's not. It's just a piece of fabric. From the outside world looking in, it's just fabric. You were sitting on a couch. Couches are made by fabric. What's a big deal about having a belt wrapped around you? From the outside looking in, it's not a thing. But when you're inside and you've gone through the trenches, we've had to go through with aches, pains, time away from family, time away from friends, and trying to
Yeah, but
make
your
yourself.
friends and family are all on the mat with you.
No,
dude.
sometimes I turn my back away from my friends to come do karate or come do jiu-jitsu. Like, yeah, you want to come out? Let's go out and let's go have a beer. I want to go do class. You want to come to the party? And I gotta go to work. I got to go do this test thing.
That's
I have
awesome,
to go get
man,
this.
that you uphold that.
You know, and I did because I wanted to. Cause I'm like, no, I want to get better at this. I want to get this done. And like, I'm a big emotional guy. I'm a big teddy bear. I don't like when I got emotional on that, you know. But the first time I got it, I was just like, man, I can't believe that I'm up here with I don't know if I'm up on this tier with Paul yet. I mean,
Yeah. So how
you know.
did you feel like you did? Did you feel like you deserved it?
I don't think any black belt who gets a black belt in this. I don't want to talk for everybody, but I don't know if every black belt thinks they're a black belt when they get a black belt. I think somebody thinks they're going to get a black belt maybe another year after they get it that time, because it's just
100%.
because it's another okay. Paul guys, I can go with Paul. Okay, I'm pretty good now. I can stop getting submitted. I can stop him sweeping me. I can stop a takedown, maybe one or two, until Paul starts getting into fifth gear and starts taking the crap out of.
That's what he says. He says it's just hold me off. That's all I'm asking.
And,
You know what I mean?
and this again, think of like old school martial arts. When back in the day, when your instructor saw you getting used to everything, your belt color changed. Now when your instructor started saying like, okay, I can't play with you anymore, starting to get a high belt color. Okay, now it's not fun to spar with you anymore, do anything. So now we're going to give you a black belt. Okay, so now, you know as much technique as I do now, so now you can teach the classes now. I can take a break. And that's just how it goes. It's been doing that for millions of years.
Did you teach at all for Paul before you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, Paul, Julius, can you teach class?
We all get sucked
Yeah,
into that.
I'm like,
I get sucker
go
to teach
skiing.
class. Dude, is this live or is it recorded?
This is ATT
This is
Orlando,
what do you?
bro.
This is recorded.
Okay, because my students are trying. My students are trying to find out
ATT
what
Orlando
it is.
sis.
Oh, this you're unfortunately. So here's the crazy thing, Julius. So you are. This is the good and the bad. You are episode 20,
Episode 20.
which is an awesome milestone. What's crazy though is we just released episode 14. We have that many in the bank.
Bro, there's so many. First off, I'm so happy that you were able to make it.
Of course,
As with all our guests, we are humbled by the outpouring of interest in coming on this.
I'm
on this
humbled by
podcast.
letting you guys letting me come on. I mean, honestly, me being, I don't feel like I'm that big of a deal to get on anything, talking or anything. So I
First off, you realize you literally are this minotaur, right? You're spoken about the way, like, have y'all rolled with Julius?
really,
dude.
this is news to me. So.
Julius, first off, okay, so let's go back a little bit, right?
But on top of that, you're such a nice guy.
You are the smiley. I'm a fairly
And genuine. It's not this you give me the warmest hug, and it's funny because I've almost that's how I grew up. But in society nowadays, I've almost had to learn to be less, in a way, as for lack of a term, intimate with people, because we're not comfortable with that, right? We're not comfortable with that proximity, and obviously jiu-jitsu is cool because we're all in each other's faces the whole time, and that's what. But when you grab me with one of those bear hugs and you gable grip me from behind and you give me a squeeze, that's what I grew up with my dad. But it's like, I don't do that with most people because they're uncomfortable with that.
See,
but when you did it, I was like,
I do it with everybody.
I know, that's
do
the
it
thing. Like, you
everybody.
pick up Paul every time you come on the mat,
Yeah.
and it's awesome, you know?
I do that because I'm just a very loving person.
So is that from karate or is that from Mobley?
That's from Mobley.
Is it? Okay, that's awesome.
That's my mom. My mom doesn't matter. We know you. Your
Are
family.
your parents 9 feet tall also?
Actually, I'm taller than my mom. I'm just as tall as my dad, but I'm the shortest one in my family.
Do you have siblings?
I have one older sister. She
Wait a
lives.
minute. Let that sink in. He just said he's the shortest in his family.
I'm the shortest in my family.
Let that sink in.
All my cousins are all
so
bigger
you
than
are
me.
like the John Jones family, but you chose in traditional karate instead of
Pretty
professional
much. That
fighting.
is actually pretty accurate.
Right?
All of them play sports and
your
everything.
sister
yeah.
could be like a pro WNBA player.
Okay, no, my dad was like a college football star
Really?
and a basketball star.
Call him out, dude.
And then my dad, Frank
Shout
Mobley,
out.
he used to go to Auburn University. My mom was a magna cum laude. She was a basketball star as well.
You're fucking bred for this, dude.
And then my sister used to model for Sears and all that stuff. And then they have a martial art jock of a son that just wants to do karate. That's pretty much all.
But though, I mean, is everybody happy?
Yeah, everybody's happy.
That is tremendous. Like that, the fact that your parents, because I know, and it's an early thing, right? Like when I decided to quit my job in the beer business and like go work for the gym and like try to help ATT Longwood at the time and stuff, and like my dad especially was like, "What?"
Didn't agree with it.
What the fuck?
No, my dad did the same thing.
Right? Like, what?
My
dad
did the same thing. My mom and my dad own their own like insurance firm, or financial firm, excuse me. And I was that you have to have a backup plan. You have to have a backup plan. Dad, I don't want
like
this.
it's
Dad,
not a. This is a hobby. It's not a job.
You don't have
right?
an option. No, you don't have an option. You have to go and get your financial license. Fine. I'm living in your house. I'll go. Okay, I'm gonna go do it. I did the tests. I did the classes. I passed. I got my.
What age was this?
This was like okay. So this is like maybe later in the 20s, like 27,
so
26.
So you were a purple belt by the time?
Yes. This is when I was like a purple belt. It is because it was when I was purple, because the same day I got my license and I passed to go. And my dad's like, okay, he introduced me to his business partners. He introduced me to all his, clients. Like, this is my son. He's going to be with their business and everything. The same day.
So they were setting you up for all that.
Same day, Silverman called me and asked me, do you want to open a school for me? Yes. I don't care. Yes. Right now. What do I need to do? Tell me where it is. I'll go. Yes, I want to open it. Went to the school, opened it, was there from the all night, all morning, working on the school. And this is a school where it had closed down like 4 times already. They was going to do 4 instructors. 4 instructors. And
this is the Conway school?
This is the Conway school.
Oh, my man.
And to put this in perspective, four schools, meaning that it's going to do 4 head instructors, and they bankrupt like 4 different times. And I went in there. I'm like, I don't care. I'll do it. I want to do it. I don't care. I'll figure out how to do it.
And which one were you training at the time?
Well, I was working at the university school.
Oh, that's right.
I was working at the university
which is completely different markets, to be honest. Like way different markets.
Mm-hmm. And like I went in there and I told my dad, I'm sorry, I can't work at a desk,
and
Dad.
You're 20.
This is 25.
25. Okay, all right.
Dad, I can't work at a desk, Dad. I don't want to work at a desk. I want to be on the mats. I want to go do this. And my dad didn't talk to me for like a week and a half.
Really?
My dad was pissed. He didn't work at,
but
But my mom said, I knew you were going to do it in the first place. Like, and
really? I'm surprised that your dad wouldn't have thought the same.
He did, but he knew he's gonna come. He's gonna do this. He's just martial art thing. My mom knew I'm not stopping. She knew I'm not stopping doing martial arts. She knew it. It's like you're born to do this. There's things that God put you on the world for, and martial arts is your thing. You've never done anything else.
I can tell you your impression of people. Well, first off, you know Collie.
Collie?
Yes.
Clark? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Yeah. Collie.
His step aunt and uncle, I think it is, their son used to train with you.
They did? Or he did?
He did. I guess he got to the blue belt. His name is I know Mike and Phyllis. Mike and Phyllis are their son's like my age, so I'm not even sure.
I'm trying to think what the son's name would be.
Harlow. But either way, let me tell.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Julius, I cannot even express the adoration that people have for you. When somebody found out that I do jiu-jitsu, it's by way of my sister, my sister, Jesus Christ, my wife's Kiwanis club. Philip and Mike Harlow spoke of like, oh, you do jiu-jitsu too? I was like, yeah, like I'm a purple belt. I think I was a purple belt at the time. They're like, oh, do you know Julius? And I was like, yeah, I do know Julius. Like, actually, I'm under the same lineage as him and stuff, and I think you might have been a black belt at the time, or either way, you were a brown belt.
Right.
You've always been one belt ahead of me, and they spoke so highly of you.
Oh,
it's insane, and I think their kids do karate under you, and I think they still do.
I think so. What's his name again?
God, hang on, Noah, take over real quick.
Well, I was just kind of curious while you guys were talking. When did you guys meet, and under what circumstances was that?
Jiu-jitsu class.
But at what point?
I
think it might have been. I mean,
it was at the old Goldenrod gym. It was at the old Golden. No, this was at ATT Longwood.
It was Longwood.
This was Longwood.
I don't want to get too like inside baseball, but it was when Kelly was dating Devin. I'll just go ahead and say it.
Not know that.
I don't know this, but
I didn't know that was real.
I think that might have been it, dude. I think it was when Kelly was dating Devin.
Wait,
No, it was before. It was before.
It was probably before that, but then Devin came out with Kelly.
Yes.
And
That's
and
when
you do this now. Actually, it's funny that you still do it. I remember I was like, God damn, this guy's spider guard so hard to pass. I was a pro belt. You might have been a brown belt. I think you were a brown belt. You taught cage fitness first, and then like Dev and I were like chilling in your gym and stuff, and like getting ready to take class. We rolled, and I was terrified of you first off, because like I've heard of like the legend of like Julius.
I don't know what this legend
and
is.
like, and you're like, purple belt, get over here, and I was like, fuck my life.
I remember that. I remember this now. Yes.
Yeah, Kelly's a blue.
Yes, I remember
Is
this
this
now.
Kelly that's a brown belt now?
This is I was a brown belt. Yeah,
Campo.
Del Campo.
Del Campo.
Yeah,
of the camps.
She actually married one of my first students I ever had at the school.
One of the first students you ever. He's very good, by the way.
Yeah, he's like a son to me. He's a good kid. He's a good guy.
When you say first student, you mean karate student?
First
or
karate
jiu-jitsu?
student.
First karate student. Wow.
This goes back to the story about somebody who's feeling a little timid, a little like not unsociable, but somebody who does kind of fit in. And he moved here from Chile, and then he didn't really know a lot of people.
But then he finds something that he identifies with.
He found something to identify with, and
what am I looking up again?
You're looking.
You
You don't look that red in the face right now.
Dude, this is. I've got 2 cookies in me. That's the only food I've had since 8 o'clock yesterday.
What? Yeah.
9 beers.
It was. I don't remember either. People listening are like, God,
my
these
students
guys
are texting me up the butt right now. Like, why
I can
can't I hear this?
verify. I
Why
will
can't I hear
vouch.
this?
Julius has not had 1 drop of alcohol.
No, he came with a bottle of water.
He came with his own essential water.
And there's the
Hydration.
other thing. I can't drink a lot of liquor anyway. I have bad kidneys. So I do. So I can't have a lot of liquor.
It's genetic thing?
Hereditary. Yeah.
Really?
So I got it from my great grandfather, and he gave it to me. So
I've got this from my when my ancestors were climbing the trees in Asia, that I can't drink too much alcohol, but I do anyway. So hey.
So, okay, so you got your black belt. You like all these guys have said. Tommy has said this. Chris has said it. You're saying it today. You didn't feel necessarily that you were ready for it.
no.
Now, that being said, you are one of the few, Chris is one of the few, Tommy's one of the few, that have gotten a black belt and, moreover, gotten a black belt under Paul.
Correct.
I will not, it's not a secret that I think would be a great moment, it would be a great milestone if I could get a black belt someday under Paul.
Right.
What advice for a guy like me would you have?
Don't quit.
Okay.
I wish I had some kind of other fairy tale speech, but honestly, that's all it is. Like, if you think about it, like, who can vouch for this? Old Sensei used to say this all the time. How many people do you think are sign up for martial arts every year? Give me a number.
Like
Just saying,
as a whole,
like
millions.
Okay, so let's say 1 million kids sign up for martial arts. 100,000 will get to a black belt. So out of 1 million kids, 100,000 will get to a black belt. 10%. Out of that 10%, 100,000, about maybe 50,000 will get to the next phase if you go in the secondary black belt. Mm-hmm. Go down again. Less than that, make it to the third degree. And you keep going down.
Sure.
So
in your style of karate, at what point are you considered master? Is it 4th?
I see. This is me not being a realist. Like, I've never. Okay, so you want to have the master term? The master term is like,
I just know in WTF Taekwondo, I'm not a master because I only made it to 3rd degree.
WTF, I love this.
This is why it sounds like a wrestling thing. Like WTF.
John Cena with the WTF.
Hey, bro, this left leg body kick didn't come from nowhere.
And see again, but you learned it from karate though.
I learned it's a Taekwondo thing, man.
Exactly.
I can't discount that. I give credit where it's due.
But no, I'm trying to. What are you saying again?
At what point are you considered a quote master?
I think anybody it's got 10th degree black belt's a master. I think 10 because that's when you get the red belt. So the red belt's master belt.
I think for jiu-jitsu it's 6.
No, it's 10.
Is it 10?
10.
Well, nobody can get 10 in jiu-jitsu.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can be Helio Gracie.
No, okay. Do you not see the documentaries they have on the guys down in Brazil with 10 that has?
Well, I know the Coral belt is 6, right?
Okay, Coral belt.
So you mean to tell me Liborio is not a master?
Oh, dude, you got to hear. Okay, see,
he's a Coral belt. He's
Liborio,
6 or 7.
He said he gave it back.
Oh, did he really?
He said there's so much politics and drama. He's just like, just take it. I don't care.
I don't
Think
keep
about
up
it.
with it either, right?
Do you think about it? Do you not think Laborio's a master?
No, we
Exactly.
He doesn't need a fucking belt.
But exactly, you just said it. You just said it. He doesn't need it though, because you just know from what he is. His aura is nothing but this freaking jiu-jitsu god of, something that he can just snap the crap out of anybody anytime he wants. But that's what he is. And even if he has a plain black belt, would you not call him master? But that's what he is because he's been around the block. His name is word of mouth. When I went to Dubai with him, it was crazy.
Yo, what?
Yeah, I went to Dubai with him for 6 days. Huh?
Explain.
Okay, so Laborio was trying to help get his business started with teaching jiu-jitsu guys how to be
Martial Arts Nation thing,
yes,
or-
with the
okay.
Martial Arts Nation.
And just hang.
Are you a part of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and one
I need you to go into that in a little bit.
and one quick thing. When did you first meet Laborio, and how did that relationship blossom?
I met Laborio through a mutual business partner called Mike Metzger. He knows Laborio as a friend, and then we met up with through a Roger Crawl seminar that he came over and did.
Okay.
And then I always saw Laborio, and I saw Laborio at an old tournament one time, and I came up there and said, "I'm gonna be one of your black belts one day," and he's like, "Sure." And he didn't know who I was, so I didn't take him.
You were already training with Paul. At the
I was
time.
already training Paul
and you
at the
knew
time.
Paul had gotten his black belt.
I
on
knew
Laborio.
Paul got it from him, yeah. So then, now Laborio had seen me, and he came over and saw my school, and he says, "Julius, you're a really good instructor." I'm like, "Well, thank you." I'm like, "Can you come over and let me write down some information about stuff?" I'm like, "Sure." So we start talking, and we start having this booklet, and then he's like, "I'm in Dubai right now." I'm like, "Okay, it'd be cool to go over there." And he calls me on the phone 2 seconds later. I'm like, "Would you really come over here?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, seriously, no shit. Would you come over here? I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go." And we went over there for 6 days. We're over there training the instructors about how to become better instructors, run classes
So
more
let me
efficiently.
ask you. It's a discussion that, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
It's a discussion that Noah and I have quite often. Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm using Jiu-Jitsu interchangeably with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is a very young martial art.
You can date it back. You can date it back to you.
I can look at it right there on the
You
wall
can
behind
literally
you.
know who the first person who touched it was. Back
And-
do you know who your first person was who touched Taekwondo?
Yeah. No, I mean because it's a made-up sport. I mean, I don't want to say that, but
No.
but it's made up, right?
Yeah.
But we can literally trace our lineage back, which
Exactly.
is awesome. But so because it's so young, and I think that's one of the strengths that you and I have, to be honest, and not to toot our own horn, but is because we have the structure of teaching traditional martial
Correct.
arts, we can carry that over to jiu-jitsu because
Yes.
it is such a young sport.
Yes.
And I forgot where I was going with this, but that's probably one of the things that jiu-jitsu is lacking right now. And I think the idea of attrition where for early on, it was just whoever was toughest and it was all experimentation. You were figuring out what worked and whatever didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But now as we can apply teaching concepts and learning concepts to it, that's probably where the next breakthrough of jiu-jitsu is going to come.
Well, the strongest person in the room is not always the best teacher. The strongest person in the room is the strongest person in the room. Just because you can bench press 500 pounds doesn't mean you can teach somebody how to do it the right way. Not saying that the person who's the strongest person can't do it, but it's sometimes always, and you've probably seen it on on basketball teams, soccer teams, coaches, anyone else. If you kind of understand how to teach somebody, it'll last them a lifetime. Instead of making them fish the right way. If you teach them how to fish the right way, you'll be able to get them.
I don't know if you follow like weightlifting and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a guy by the name of Arthur Jones who he was the pioneer of quote high intensity training, and his analogy he always used was I'm not going to ask, and this is not racist by any means. I'm just using his quotes. He said, I'm not going to ask a black person how to get a suntan. Right, because they're just naturally tan. Just
Right.
as I'm not going to naturally ask a huge bodybuilder how he got big, because often he got that way by happenstance. He didn't get that way because he understands how the body works, how biomechanics works, how nutrition works. Who's more knowledgeable about the human body? The exercise physiologist or the bro bodybuilder who just happens to be huge, right? And I think that applies to, and I think we're reaching that point now with jiu-jitsu and all martial arts for that matter, just with the idea of better coaching, is we have a population at this point of people who are good practitioners, but also excellent instructors.
Yes.
And excellent like students.
Yes.
Well, and I would also say that the best teachers often, or best coaches, are not the naturals, but the ones that have failed the most, because they can, with any student, identify what's preventing them from hitting the next level or making that technique or succeeding because they failed in that exact same way. Whereas the natural can't relate to those students as much because it just came naturally.
They just did it.
Well, you learn from, and I think we're forgetting this as a society sometimes, but you learn from failure. You don't learn from success. Like, I think that's why martial arts, again, helps everybody else, because when you first learn to kick, okay, it's easy. Learn the next kick. It's not going to be as easy. Or in jiu-jitsu, how many times you failed at a move? Thousands of times. So you learn from your failure, and I think that's a big thing that I try to teach my students at my school, at the school, is like, you learn from your failure. Okay, the move didn't work. Okay, it doesn't mean the move doesn't work. You got to try to make sure you're doing it right. So figure it out. I've done that countless of time, and you guys probably laugh at me when I'm smiling when you guys when I'm rolling with you guys. Half the crap I do with you guys, I'm doing it for the first time sometimes because I'm just trying to see if it works. And if you passed, it didn't work.
And it works on me, and I'm like, damn it.
So let me ask you, how we know there's a certain amount of structure that lends itself to teaching jiu-jitsu better. Have you seen a reverse? Like, what have you learned from jiu-jitsu that you've now converted in your curriculum to karate?
I think jiu-jitsu's helped me to have more patience. Instead of trying to go so fast, to have more patience and to not. And I mean, you can vouch this too. Is to not be. You remember, like, Mike Chat used to say, like, "Fake it till you make it." Do you remember that crap?
Yeah.
I can't.
Mike Chat. Oh my god. Oh my god. 1994.
Oh my god. I cannot stand that
Chat
phrase.
Guy.
He ruined martial arts with that phrase.
There's Mike Chat and John.
John.
You know the Filipino guy.
Yeah. Oh.
John Terada? No, Steve Terada.
Steve Terada. Yeah.
But it was always Mike Chat and the other guy that were competing against each other in forums. But anyways, either Mike Chat, he said fake it till you make it.
Yeah, and I think that ruined like martial arts as a whole, because it's like, hey, do this now, you'll be okay. Do that now, you're okay. And you can't do that in jiu-jitsu.
No, you can't.
There's no faking
it. The mats don't lie, right?
Exactly.
That's interesting. So how have you applied that to your karate curriculum? Like,
I'm trying. Like, the only thing I added to it was to just don't forget the basics and the traditions, and just keep. Like, I in my mind, I didn't really do anything to change the way I thought about martial arts when I was teaching martial arts, because I knew that was like the way that you were supposed to teach it. Now, I'm not saying my way is the high way that you're supposed to do. I just know that if you're going to throw a punch to hit somebody, you better put your hands out to make sure that when they're going to punch you back, they have your hands out. And that's pretty much how it is when I teach anybody else. If you're going to do an armbar to somebody, you better make sure you have good space and good form when you get ready for them to buck you off before you finish the move. Nothing really has changed the way if I've teach. If anything else, when I've been with Paul, is just to teach the people how to be okay to fail and grind out what you want. If you want to be good at this, you got to keep going. Don't quit. Just keep going.
John Valera.
Oh yeah, dude. John Valera was shit.
He was the fucking man.
John Valera was awesome. Okay.
He was the next level, dude.
Dude, that guy did like those quadruple kicks in the air, and then when he used to do those commas, that was just crazy. And it's still pretty cool.
No, athletically amazing, right? Like,
yes.
I still have to give credit where it's due. And that's awesome, man. Like, I have so much respect for you for like finding that passion and just running with it.
I appreciate it, man. It's
the bravest thing. Like,
yeah,
right?
it's scary.
Like,
yeah, because
just look at the failure rate of like martial arts schools in general, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible. Like, the attrition rate is so high.
But it's doing it for the right reasons. It's like you're not. You're doing it for the lifestyle. You're not doing it to make of money.
Your school could close down today for doing it for the right reason. I mean, how many business have you seen mom and pop shops are like, oh, we're doing this for the right reason? They close their doors like a month later. It's what do you have to do to get your school to run? And I'm meaning like, how many hours are you willing to put in to make sure your school gets to where it needs to be financially so you can take a breath? And that being like sacrifice away from anything else, just like in jiu-jitsu. Like in jiu-jitsu, are you willing to sacrifice time away from everybody else to get better at it? The same thing we're running a business.
So you didn't, like you said earlier, you didn't go to college, you didn't get an MBA. Where do you think you develop your business acumen? Because I'm sure most of the success comes from running a business. From
working with CFCK, Frank Silverman, and us having meetings and sitting down talking about business. And it's like I said, my project was on how to run a school. I used to be over his house sometimes just getting information about how do I run this, how to run that. I'd ask him, like, what do I do here? What do I do here? How do I do this? How many students do I need to do this? Then Mr. Metzger, Mike, I would ask him, what do I need to do this? How do I run this? How do I say this phrase? What do I need to do to make sure that I'm doing this right? And it's just, again, going through the college. I'm not saying college is bad. College is great, but from what I needed to do, college wasn't going to teach me. Like, from what I needed to do, I needed to go somebody who's done it already. Like,
it sounds like you had an apprenticeship, basically.
You can say that
they've had their failures.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at that point, you're standing on their shoulders, right? Like, they've done the work already. So
they've done the work, so they're telling you what to do, right? So you could say that's an apprenticeship. Yeah, you could say it like that. You know, 'cause again, it's like a trickle down system for martial arts. The master's here, you're here. Okay, so now you're constantly figuring out what to do to get up to that level, and that's what I was doing. You know, so I mean, that was my idea from it.
Super shout out to Championship Martial Arts. As I've sat in on their meetings as well. When I went to go work for Longwood in Winter Springs, they have done what nobody has been able to do before in applying. And just to your point, you're saying, like, there's nothing that you can learn in college that allows you, or not nothing, but like,
Frank and Mike are the best of the best. I don't care what anybody said. They're best of the best,
right? Like, they work with the highest level of
they are the highest level. No, Frank and Mike are the highest level. They're teaching the next step down, and like and sitting in their classes or their. Because I went to their weekly things, like with all the instructors and stuff. Like, they were able to buy, which I don't think anybody was able to do before, good, solid, sound business principles, and being able to apply that to a very unique business. Yes,
martial arts, because it's like, if you think of like traditional martial arts, it's like it's the labor of love. It's the instructor that's just beating the shit out of their students, or whatever the case is, and they're barely scraping by, right? Like, but like, for the sort of consumer-based market, gearing what the strengths of martial arts are and kind of tailoring that to the consumer is what they've been able to do better than anybody.
There's no bar. There's no bar with them. They're the sky. They know I want to say they know everything, but that sounds like a little conceit. But any question I got, they know how to do it.
And what's amazing is that the fact that they're willing to share that with people.
Correct.
Right? Like, that's probably the strongest point about it, is that they've made their mistakes. They could have easily just held on to that information themselves, but they instead have chosen to, rising tides raise all ships. Like, they've, like, the pie's not only this big. Why don't we see how far we can get martial arts as an industry? Right, and they've chosen to share that with people, which is why they brought in somebody like Liborio. Right, like, and that's incredible to me.
They have a Maya Elite program where they have schools around the world that come over and get information from them, and they'll set it on like 4 days to sit down and have meetings like for hours on end on how to grow your school.
When's the next one? Is it in Vegas or Orlando?
Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Can you get me the hookup?
I can give you a number, maybe.
All right.
No, definitely. You guys know if you guys need anything, you holler at your boy. Come on, you know this.
All right. I've been to one, so like, I got
a lot of. You guys know this. All you got. I tell this Paul all the time. You need something, just tell me.
Bro, let me go into the Spartan entourage.
I'm actually. I feel like I need to drop in. I feel like I need to drop in and honestly, and roll with some of you guys.
You haven't seen anything compared to martial art business. Not even close.
Like, we think. Like, we're very good here. Paul's done an exceptional job.
And Paul got some all this knowledge from those two.
You know, and it's finding what worked for him. It's a very like sort of like pragmatic approach. But like, there's something that there's something that they have in their mindset, their entrepreneurship, that
It's their mindset.
it's a mindset thing, and I'm still stuck in the old school mindset, right? Like, and it's hard for me to get out of it.
It is sometimes, because you got to understand that you can still sell your old school, but you have to have the new school to sell the old school. You can't. The way of old school martial art thinking is not dead, but your school won't survive.
Where was your transition of going from operating a championship martial arts to, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing? What made you take that leap?
I wanted to open my own school. I have, and if I'm gonna make ends meet and start a family, I better figure out how to do this right. So I mean, call to action. That was my call to action, Michelle. We wanted to get married. Okay, we want to have a family. Okay, we want to get a place to live. That takes money. So, and martial's not free, and rent's not free. Apartment rent's not free. Wedding ring's not free. We got to figure out how to get all this stuff. So, might as well figure out how I'm gonna do it.
Now, does Michelle work in the business with you?
Michelle works with me side by side.
Wow.
Michelle works with me side by side. She's my right hand, right, left, whatever. She's the ball and chain. She's there every day. We work together. I couldn't see you working with anybody else.
That's awesome. I know that working with a friend or significant other is a risk in a way, because
It's not a risk. I knew I wanted to be with Michelle when I first laid eyes on her. I can't see myself with anybody else. I mean, we have our little disagreements or something.
I'm saying if something occurs in the business, it can affect the personal. Like, are you guys good about separating the business topics with the interpersonal? Just like a friend. Just like I mean, I'll say, even like with Paul, it's like if Paul were to give constructive criticism to a student, sometimes that student takes it as a personal thing.
You're asking,
it's not a personal thing. It's the coach talking to the student, not Paul
you're
talking
asking,
to Noah.
can you swallow your pride?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's not the hard thing to do.
So how long have you guys been in business together now?
Together, probably about 10, 12 years,
That's
maybe.
awesome, man.
You know, us together, 10, 12 years. What a piece.
So, random question. Have you seen The Art of Self-Defense, that movie with Jesse Eisenberg?
Wait, I think I've seen it.
The Art of Self-Defense.
I think I've seen that. I don't want to lie to you and say yes or no. I don't know. I don't remember.
It started like he gets.
Wait, is it the guy with the red belt and like
he gets mugged? He gets mugged
and
by.
There's like those balls he has to like figure out with the white or black ball that like he go in the like ring and fight or something like that.
No, this is a movie that starts with him. He's like he gets mugged by like a biker gang, and then he joins a karate school. And they make it's a real black comedy. It's like The Cable Guy almost.
I have to watch it. I've never seen it. Okay. I don't know.
I was curious.
There's this movie called Red Belt. I think I got him confused. I'm sorry.
Have you seen The Art of Self-Defense with Jesse Eisenberg, Chris?
No, I know about it.
Okay.
Red belts. What do you think about red belt?
I think Red Belt's really cool.
So red belt. I'm sorry. I'm eating a red velvet cupcake, and I had to take a pee. Red belt came around the same time as Never Back Down.
I hate that movie. I don't hate. No. Let me free. I take that back because I teach my students and everybody around me do not say that word. I do not like that movie at all.
Never Back Down.
I do not like the movie at all.
It's just like Karate Kid for our generation.
No. It's just like the Karate Kid. The new Karate Kid was awesome until the very last move when he did that jump, freaking XMA gainer, and hit them with the one foot. If you would have just punched him in the face, I would have been like, that was like an Oscar-nominated movie right there.
You don't feel as though Red Belt was a little like over dramatic about things?
What movie's not over dramatic? You know,
I guess
it's a movie.
I mean,
but no.
All right, so what? You and I both grew up in the era of Van Damme.
Van Damme is awesome.
Oh.
Who do you like more, Van Damme, Seagal, or wait, Van Damme, Seagal, or Norris?
I'm a Van Damme guy, man.
Okay,
like he was the most sort of like athletically inclined, I think. I mean, like kickboxer probably was my first true experience into. Like,
did you see the first movie with him when he was a villain?
You mean No Retreat, No Surrender?
Dude,
no, Black Eagle was actually. You mean where he was fighting Sho Kusogi?
Yeah.
First off, have you seen The Revenge of Ninja? The Revenge of Ninja?
Revenge of Ninja? Mm-mm.
Where Sho Kusogi was like, it like sort of like, I don't want to get super nerdy, but it sparked like the ninja craze in America.
Nerds make the best martial artists.
Oh, they're the best, right?
Yeah.
So
hey, I'm a big dork. I don't care.
Two challenges to you right now, black belt to black belt. Have you seen Shaolin versus Llama? I will fucking send this to you.
Please do. I have to see this.
It's two of the Buddhist temples fighting each other. It's incredible.
That's not Buddhist, though. Buddhists don't fight each other.
Bro, they have to defend each other's honor somehow. Just go with it. And Revenge of the Ninja.
I will look it up.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, man, drug trade, selling dolls. It's crazy. Absolutely. I remember Black Eagle and No Retreat, No Surrender. But what was the one which one got you?
Which one?
Like, of all of the...
Yes.
Best of the Best. My God. So, like, Best of the Best was like... That's like Taekwondo's, like, call to action. You just to use your term.
Like, that was, Best of the Best was an awesome movie.
But
I love that movie.
Where do you think we got Puppet Tommy from? Do you even know what Puppet Tommy is?
I mean, I saw Best of the Best. I don't recall that.
How do you not remember that scene?
Because I was a little kid, dude.
Well, that's a good point. I forgot what happened, but like Eric Roberts got his shoulder.
Eric Roberts. Yes.
He got his shoulder dislocated, right? And then like he has to like pop it back in. He has to fight with him.
Oh, he didn't pop it back in. No, he didn't pop it back in. He got dislocated. Then he did this jump switch snap kick and got the guy out of the ring. Yes, I remember that. And then Tommy came in. He got the crap beat out of him by Tai Long or something like that.
Which is actually his brother.
And he did this step spinning side kick to like it would kill him if he hit him with it. But then he's like, Tommy Lee Jones was like, no, he's gonna kill him. No, don't do it. And he lost. And then they gave him the medal. That was the best movie. I love that movie.
That was an incredible movie. Good for Taekwondo. Did you?
You're talking about that one on top?
Yes. Okay. Please watch that for my sake.
To watch.
Do it for me. Black belt to black belt, please.
Like Japanese, Chinese.
Have you seen Meals on Wheels?
Oh my God! Where he
Wheels on Wheels. Have you seen Jackie Chan? Have you seen that?
I'm talking
older. Dude, that
Mark,
movie. I think you should watch that. That movie's good.
Shaolin versus Llama.
I can't find the name of this thing. It's this old kung fu movie where there was three guys. One, the master made do nothing but step from stone to stone on his toes, and nothing else but. And then there's another one where he made him do nothing but taking punch his hands into the sand. And then there was another one where this other guy did, and then when it hit, they all got sick of it, and then he's like, okay, here's what I want you to do. And he starts doing something to it. The guy's just hopping through without missing a beat. And then the other guy, he tells him, okay, now you do this, and the guy literally punches something and breaks it, but it was just one of those old cheesy Chinese movies, and I'm just trying to find.
They're the best.
From my childhood.
Right. Do you so you said you are not super into competition.
I've done competition.
Okay. Have you competed in jiu-jitsu?
I'm not into...
When I met him, he competed.
No, I'm not into... I like competing in jiu-jitsu stuff. That's fun. I don't...
How many jiu-jitsu competitions have you done?
Like a handful. I've done at least 10.
Have you really? Awesome. I've done none, so...
Naga US Open at purple belt.
Was that so? Is that done at the same time? When I think of karate U.S. Open.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
really? Yeah. Okay.
It's the same
day
in
the Coronado.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, same day.
Awesome.
The different room over, the different bay. Yeah.
Okay.
The same day.
He competed against Will Skirkowitz from the jungle.
Yeah.
And I was competing against some.
He was in the ring away on the other side of me.
Yep.
So
I was in ring 10?
Yeah.
And he was in ring 8.
What do we have to do to get a super fight? Because here's my goal as the ring master of all of Central Florida martial arts. I'm trying to set up super fights between all of the different gyms. I've got
Why
it in
you
my
sound so
head
devilish
already.
when you say that?
Because this is the Chris Vu thing, right?
Roger that.
I'm trying to find somebody for you, Julius. Give me time. Give me time.
Who do you get for Matt Ferriola?
Oh, Matt Ferriola. It's got to be that grudge match between him and John Sissio. So just to give a little backstory, John Sissio was renting a room out to Matt Ferriola, and something went sour between them. And John moved away, and he's like, "I'm coming back. I'm gonna fucking whip your ass or something," right? So And mind you, they're both.
I saw Sissio a couple of days ago.
Where?
I mean, a couple of weeks ago at a Sears.
Were you in Daytona?
Oviedo. The Sears in Oviedo.
Really?
The one that's closing down?
Yeah. It's cool. What's gone now?
Yeah. I was over there shopping. I saw him there.
Oh, really? So I would love to see a match between Ferriello and Sissio again. Yeah, they had one, but that was like Sissio was out of training. He had quit the gym and stuff, that sort of thing. So I want to see one because an on John Sissio is an on John Sissio. Like he's a purple belt, but he's realistic like brown and black belt.
Right.
Like,
Sissio's pretty good.
Like and Ferriello too. Like he's a brown belt, but he's realistically like a black belt, right?
They're
both very, very good.
Right.
So I'd love to see them. I don't know somebody. So you said your weight's 265. I gotta work. I'm still waiting on Joe Pernia versus John Estrada. now that Joe Pernia is an official purple belt, I'm still waiting to see that happen. I think Paul's waiting on that too. I don't know who else.
No, shout to John Estrada. Estrada will smash that.
Oh my!
No, Estrada will smash that. John is good.
Ooh,
John's so good.
John is calling out Joe Pernia by way of Julius.
No, don't get twisted. I just gave you facts. I'm not calling anybody out. Estrada just smashed the crap out of him.
How often are you able to train now? Jiu-Jitsu, that is.
That train like we train it on Friday.
Well, I know obviously you're teaching class, but for yourself, for your
That's
continued
hard.
development.
That's hard.
How have you had to balance that? Like, where do you find the time? Because you got to develop your students.
Julius, will you come on over and work with Jack?
That's pretty much how it is. Yeah.
Like you gotta grow your business. That's rule number one,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Like
Yes, sir.
that's what keeps the lights on.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
feeds your
Yes, sir.
kid.
Food on the table.
B, develop your students because that's what's going to pay.
Yeah.
Right. Where do you find the time to develop yourself?
I try to find the time in the morning when no one else is doing anything. Like either that or before I have to go on like routes to pick up kids on the bus. So like
You drive your own van still?
yeah.
Bro, hire that out. Come on.
Why? There's money you can save.
I know it's money you can save, man, but like
Exactly
that's
the point.
time that you could be putting
But
towards.
again, you run a business. That's time you can save.
That's true too. So like, but at some point, right? Like you're gonna find a point where you're gonna need to hire somebody out because that time could be better spent.
This is
growing your
correct. We're
business,
not
right?
at that time yet.
Just not that time.
No,
Okay, fair enough.
Mostly when I had time to train, I have to find it between the hours of 9 and 12. That's pretty much what it is. If anybody's
It's only 3 hours that you really have.
Is
Because
it?
what's your first class of the day?
The first class of the day is usually I try to go to the gym and like at 5 in the morning I'll try. Now that this is 20 me, now I could get up at like 4 in the morning. I'm fine. Now I'm like, no, I gotta go back to sleep. So like on Monday I'll try to go from 9 till like 10 and then right over here to Paul's at 11 if I can make it. And then about 12 I'll go rush over to school, take a bird bath, and then go right on the route for the kids. Tuesday, kind of the same thing, except my first gi class is at 10:30. Wednesday, I have to go up to the university and help Laborio teach jiu-jitsu over the university, and then leave at 12 to go back over. And then Thursday, first no gi class at 10:30. Then try to find something. Then and I was talking to one of my students yesterday. It's like you don't always have the best. And I want to say that you don't always have the training partners you want all the time, but you work with what you got. And I'm not saying that I don't have really good training partners at my dojo, but I don't have I don't have a VU and I don't have a collie that matches that.
A VU does nothing for Julius.
But you do different things that Collie doesn't do, and Collie does things that you don't do, and Collie doesn't do things that Paul doesn't do, and Tarsus does things that Paul doesn't do. So I try to find whatever I can to go train. So I don't have the consistency that I want, but I'll freaking find a way to train and go with somebody for 10 minutes, and I'll just go get my butt handed to me. Or I'll go get called in Jacare, and Jacare wants to smash my skull into the ground. But I don't care. I'll go because that's training in me. I mean, I still have this shoulder problem from going Jacare for like almost a couple months, but I don't care.
God. Huh? So you were a part of which training camp for him?
I was on we went against Brunson.
Oh, nice.
I was on the Brunson training camp, and I was with.
So when you're rolling with Jacare, are you doing MMA or are you doing jiu-jitsu?
More both.
Oh wow! Okay.
Not like we'll do walls and then we'll do ground, but it's mostly
you're doing like jits with hits, basically.
Yeah, basically. Okay. Yeah, we don't do any like stand up kicking or anything like that. We'll just go on the like do wall defense and everything else like that, but nothing else. He hits the hard.
What is your impression of the UCF Jiu-Jitsu stuff.
Wish that was going on when everybody else was like little.
I am of the same mindset.
Those kids are getting credit for doing jiu-jitsu.
For doing something that's awesome and they love.
And they get credit for it. That is incredible.
What are the classes like? Like, it's hard to we've heard about it.
Think of
You
white
see
belt
stuff
class. Think of a big white belt class. Big white belt class, just doing jiu-jitsu.
Because there's like a level 1 and a level 2 also. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I've heard that, but okay? So just describe the level. Is it just doing movements? Do they spar? What do they do?
So there's two basic clubs. There is the class, and there's the club. The club's where they do all the rolling. The class is when you learn all your basic self-defense, gi grips.
Oh, so
takedowns.
is it like an expectation that if you're already enrolled in the class, then the expectation is you show up to the club to roll?
Correct.
Okay, interesting.
So
How often does the club meet to roll?
I think about 3 times a week.
Okay, not bad.
How is he structuring this curriculum? Because it's a rotating door, right?
Yeah, but they have certain syllabuses that they'll do that they have to do for that. So they have a syllabus that he has to do. He'll hit that, and then that's pretty much how it goes.
But I'm trying to equate this to just belting up in jiu-jitsu, right? And not to disparage myself or other cases, but there are some people who I'm just never going to be able to do certain techniques against, right? Based upon our strengths, our weaknesses, our personalities, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. How does grading go for a credit?
Well, how do you test?
Yeah, how do you distinguish between a person who earns an A in the class versus a C in the class? A and B, whatever, like B and C, whatever. But there's a big difference between A and C.
The grading stuff, I am not involved with Labora, so I couldn't tell you what he does. But in my eyes, if you do an armbar, I don't know how to do it. Okay, you don't pass.
But I mean, I can do one against a non-resisting opponent. I can do.
But you know how to do it.
Okay,
but you know how to do it. There's the Rubik's cube that is jiu-jitsu. Do you know how to do it? Yes. Can you do it on somebody that's your size? Yes. Can you do it on somebody who's got 10 pounds heavier? Yes. Can you do it on somebody who's 50 pounds heavier? No. But do you still know the move?
Yeah. Okay. All right. And at that point, it's not the arm bar, or it's not. Yeah, okay.
That's basically describe. I don't want to say that out loud, but that's basically describing any other person who weighs 110 pounds in jiu-jitsu that can't hold somebody down, but that knows how to do everything else. Think of all the absolute tournaments you see. There's some really good guys out there who are lightweight. They know how to do jiu-jitsu, but somebody who's bigger that knows the same moves is going to have a problem.
Yeah, Mikey's probably not going to hold down Buchecha.
No, yeah, agreed. So let me ask you, I think Noah and I are a little bit more jiu-jitsu nerds, and I suspect you are too, because I've seen you throw out some stuff that's pretty unique. That means you've done some independent study. How much of your day?
Anytime I can get on my phone and watch YouTube.
That's what I wanted to hear. Who do you follow? Who do you like?
See, now I see Tarsh is gonna get pissed because he's like, we don't watch YouTube. You can't learn from YouTube. But I watch.
Shout out to Elementium in Winter Park.
Elementum.
Sorry, Elementum.
There's no I. It's like aluminium, right? They add the I when it doesn't.
Tarsh is love you, brother. I do any kind of bits of information. Even if I'm watching a match or a highlight reel, I'm just trying to see what kind of grips they're using, or what kind of setups, entries. That's just me. Anytime I can get on full grappling.
Do you subscribe to Flow Grappling?
I do.
It's a business expense, bro. Continue education.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And I'll sit down. I'll watch the ADCC for 2. If I got 20 minutes, I'll watch it. If I can watch.
Do you find somebody who's a similar body type that's yours, and you okay, obviously this works for them. The likelihood of that working for them would be higher for me, but I can tell you, in rolling with you, you don't do big man jiu-jitsu. You do small man jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Is there somebody that you favor over somebody like Cyborg? You know what I mean? You almost do sort of I just know I have a lot of experience trying to beat your spider guard. Where did you model that after?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think about it. Honestly,
I'm actually scared to think about you doing Spider Guard. I've never had you play Spider. Well, we did no-gi the other day, so that kind of eliminates it.
You know the guy Habu Bahal in California?
Yeah, Hamilo.
Humalo.
How?
Yeah. Everyday Pojada.
I apologize.
Everyday Pojada, baby.
I apologize if I'm butchering your name.
Humalo.
If you watch his spider guard, it's not that. It's really, really technical. And you see him do it against Andre Gaval, all these really good guys. And his spider guard is like just immensely, like he's always glued to them. I watch a lot of his tutorials, a lot of his guards, a lot of his guard tutorials, and they're really, really good. So if I could pick somebody I kind of make my game or looks a little bit like it'd probably be his. But I can't say that all my games like him because I like the 10th planet. It's like half guard stuff. So all the 10th planet, like lockdown, half guard stuff. Well, his lecture chairs, all good. I like their back taking entries. But then I would watch JT Torres' tutorials on how to take the back.
JT's a beast.
But then I'll watch Gordon Ryan's like open guard butterfly stuff. But then I'm like, wait, Marcelo was doing that before Gordon.
Yeah, I mean,
so now I'm watching. I will watch Marcelo stuff. But then like Lord Irvin's like mouse trap attacks from side control working his stuff. Then you got freaking what's his name? Robert Drysdale's like tutorial on like guard retention. And then you got Top Game. I mean,
Do you play much lasso? Do you play much lasso guard?
I do a lot of lasso guard. Like I don't like it a lot too much, but I like lasso guard. But I don't do it a lot.
Who's that guy? There's a black belt under Marcelo that coaches there. That's I think pretty famous for lasso. What's his name? He's a coach under Marcelo.
Is it not grippy or is it?
No, it's not. Well, maybe Grippo, Chihuahua's #1 training partner.
I don't. I'm really bad about like.
It's like Marco Cañas or what's his name? I'm terrible with names. Sorry.
The Okay, cool. So that's cool that you're so open minded about it. So like. I mean, like literally.
What Bruce Lee say?
Every waking moment, you're.
What Bruce Lee say? Never have don't just be one sided or one. Just
this
keep
guy.
your mind open.
No entiendo.
This is the guy that does lasso.
Oh, see. No familiar.
Really, you're not familiar with this guy?
Bro, I don't. Most of my Instagrams are
Marcos Tinico. This guy. I know you've seen this guy.
I've seen this guy.
Yeah. So he has some lasso instructionals on BJJ Fanatics, I think.
You know who has good lasso like tutorial is Keenan.
Oh,
Cornelia, his lasso information is incredible.
Okay, I'll check that out.
We're so you're.
Are you an AJJ guy or a BJJ guy?
I am a jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh, there we go. That's the.
So you're an AJJ guy.
The most diplomatic answer.
I love jiu-jitsu, and I don't care if it comes from north or south. I love jiu-jitsu.
Do you
east or west?
I don't care.
So how about what's your curriculum breakdown right now? Or not your curriculum, your schedule. How many classes of jiu-jitsu versus karate?
There is a heck of a lot of everything. There's 4 gi class. There's 2 gi classes and 2 no gi classes. There's 3 karate classes for adults. There's 5 classes a day for kids for karate. There's 4 classes a week the kids can do jiu-jitsu, and we got cage fitness every single day, and we got everything. Like our schedule is from 4
What's
to
your first class of the day. What time is it?
Then which day?
I mean, so it's different.
It's different.
Different time. All right, so what's the earliest class you have on any given day of the week?
Any given day of the week, 6 a.m.
And what's really? Mm-hmm. You have a 6 a.m. class at your gym? Okay. What's your latest class?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock? Really?
7 o'clock. It's,
Okay,
well,
so
7:30, and then it goes to 8:30.
Cool. And of course you end up staying rolling later, I imagine, right?
Well, actually, no, I don't, because when
You're done, right?
No, when you have kids, that's your priority, because I have to get somebody to bed, and he will not go to bed without daddy home. So I have to leave as soon as the class is over.
So
if you guys want to,
you have that problem too?
I don't say it's a problem, but
No, I mean,
but
okay,
yes,
I mean, like,
I have
not
that
problem, but
situation.
It's like for me, it's mama bat, dad a lullaby. So
No,
it's like,
it's dad. No, I don't want to brush my teeth. What'd you say, Dad? What did you say? Dad,
oh yeah, are you a
go brush your
disciplinarian with him?
Yes.
Is he taking classes?
He does what he wants. He loves basketball.
Really?
He
Okay.
goes back.
How much does it pain you right now that he's not doing jiu-jitsu classes?
Pay me at all. He does.
Man, you're better at that than I am.
He will do it when he wants it. I mean, there'll be a time in life where he's gonna be like, I want to learn how to do that. Okay, let's come teach you.
That's awesome. But you rough play with him and stuff
All the time. He's a
That's
boy.
awesome.
Yeah, we play fight WWE.
That's awesome, man.
Slam on beds, jump. He wakes me up sometime. We have an old trunk my grandmother used to have in her room, and he gets on and he'll like freaking like jump and like Macho Man like elbow me and freaking
man.
to wake me up. I'm like, I'm awake now, son. Okay, thank you. I'm awake now.
I just pragmatically, I'm trying to find the balance between having Connor follow my passions with having him. I mean, he's 2, right? So it's different, and like having him find his own way.
But
that's a big part of being a parent.
That is, but sometimes like it's. And please don't take this as me saying I know the way. I don't. I'm clearly,
all parents don't know what the fuck they're doing. Just to throw.
All
it out
I know
there.
is that I know that I've seen it where, and you've seen it too when you were in Korea or in the karate school or in the Taekwondo school, when a parent pushes their kid too far at something and they don't want to do it.
We see that here in the jiu-jitsu school.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
So and it's not like I'm not guiding him to it. He comes and does class sometimes. Like I pick him up from school on Monday. He comes to the class. He does class. He's like, can I get a belt promotion? I'm like, do you know your stuff? No. You can't get belt promoted. And as much as that hurts me as a dad, as an instructor, I'm like, you don't know your stuff. You can't do anything about it. Man, I'm not going to push it on him because it may not be his passion. I'm not saying it isn't, but right now his mind's not set on karate. My mind was set on karate as soon as I walked on the mat. I put a basketball in his hand. That guy's like freaking... he's like Gary Payton, Steph Curry, Michael Jordan with that basketball.
We're going way back.
The glove.
Dating ourselves here.
Dude, Gary Payton was the man. And like, dude, he watches. I let him watch. Like, can we watch videos? I'm like, yeah. So I'll put on Michael Jordan. I'll put on Gary Payton. I'll put on Sean Kemp. I'll put on John Stockton, Karl Malone. I'll put on Jerry West.
There we go.
You know, all these guys. And he's like, what about Steph Curry? I'm like, dude, Steph Curry he's got a good shot, but look at all these guys before Steph Curry, where he learned it from. And
they could hip check.
Yeah.
I mean, defense was different. You could hip check guys back then.
But no, I don't make him do anything except for doing push-ups before he goes to bed. Like that's something he has to be able to do, is do push-ups.
I'm still coming to terms with that. So
it'll take time.
It'll take
time, and you have to swallow sometimes because he's like my mom gets mad at me. He's like, he's you. I'm like, no, he's not me. He's a part of me. He's a piece of me, but he's not me.
Yeah, that's what I have to keep telling myself.
So it'll come in time.
And he's also half your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing too.
It'll come in time, and that boy's sharp as a tack. Let me tell you, my son, he doesn't cease to amaze me. He's sharp as a tack. That boy's so smart. I still don't know how I was so blessed to have a son and a wife like them, because I'm so blessed.
Do you have interest in having more kids?
I tell these people, I tell everybody all the time, I'm the bank, I'm the bank, so she has to be the fridge. I don't hold that thing for 9 months, so whenever she's ready to hold it, we'll have another.
Would you like to?
Oh yeah, heck yeah, I do want.
That's interesting because we're done. Like, Stacy's on the same page about this. Like, we only got so many hours in day.
You're like, get snipped, my man.
No, yeah, I've already researched it. VastWeb, it's like $529 a month or $529 just to get it done. And
I'm never getting that done.
to get
I don't
it reversed.
care. I'm never getting that done.
It's just, I mean, like, So, did you have any? You've been involved in martial arts for so long now. You're involved with Paul for quite a bit of time as well.
Yeah.
Did you have any resolutions for 2020?
Like, you mean goals?
Yeah, goals, resolutions.
I'm not that kind of person. I that sounds bad, but my goal is I'm gonna be a good person. I'm gonna grow my school. I'm gonna grow as a martial artist and have fun with my family every waking minute I can. And that may not be a goal, but that's just
maintaining that's hard, right? Like, so trying to maintain that.
My goal is like, okay, I want to go to the gym every day this week, but I know for a fact there's no way that can happen because 1, I have to take somebody to school. 2, I have to run a business. 3, I have to make sure there's something might happen where I have to go to a school and go teach PE or something like that, and then I have to go right to a school and go teach the whole day. So that's not really reality thinking. I can go in my garage and do push-ups and pull-ups, but that's not going to the gym. But that's something that I might be able to do. But it's something I do anyway. So if I wake up every morning and do like 20 pull-ups on my pull-up bar and I go make breakfast. That's just something I have a goal for every day, but I don't do a goal mindset, I guess. Not goal mindset, but I don't write it on the board and like have to look at it every day.
You're not tracking it.
No, I don't track it. I just live my life kind of.
You're a process guy.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to do jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna find a way to do it. I want to do this move. I'm gonna keep doing it until I can get it right, and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing. And I'll just keep it in my mind. That's just me. That's not the best way to live life, but that's the way that's less stress for me on mine.
Well, that's what's best for you right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what works, right?
Yeah.
What's the highest belt you've promoted up to so far?
In what?
In jiu-jitsu.
I'm just a first degree black belt.
No. What have you promoted up to so far?
I just had my first pair of brown belts.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
is it Tyler?
It is Tyler and
nice.
Kelly.
Rock on, man.
Tyler and Kelly are my first brown belts.
Oh, wait, that's right, Kelly. Oh my God, I completely forgot about her. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like it's you're almost there to getting that. Wait, what's the IBJJF thing? Is it?
I don't follow that.
You don't, and
I
as
don't
you
follow
shouldn't.
that.
Like I don't think you should.
Like there wasn't an IBJJF in the day. Like there was tournaments, but IBJJF doesn't characterize your black belt. I mean, there's MMA guys that could clearly are black belts, and there's jiu-jitsu guys that are going to MMA field that are clearly not in the same realm.
Right.
But you can't judge that from MMA else. Hell, if you went to a military person and asked them, okay, who's the black belt, the MMA guy or the jiu-jitsu guy, they're both black belts. Which one's the better black belt?
Right.
You know, if you go with Jacare, are you not a black belt? Jacare is clearly a black belt, but you've done jiu-jitsu long enough to know what moves work and what moves don't work. You know, he's just a higher tier of black belt, just like Danaher and Gordon clearly says something.
Yeah.
Or there's black belts and then there's black belts. That doesn't mean that the black belt that's not on the like professional level doesn't know what they're doing. It's just there's different things. Like they do this as a living. I do it as a teaching because I love doing jiu-jitsu and a little bit of a hobby at the same time. I don't want to say hobby because that makes it seem like I don't put as much time as I can into it. But
It's your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. That's what it is. It's a lifestyle. I mean, I'm happy of skateboarding to a school and doing jiu-jitsu and skateboarding home. I love doing jiu-jitsu.
Skateboard too?
Hell yeah.
Oh, Julius is getting dreamier by the moment. He's overtaking Zach.
So, don't you technically have to be a third-degree black belt to promote someone to black belt?
I don't know that one. I thought it was 2.
It was 2. Okay, I don't
Maybe it's
know.
2 within my.
And you guys know
BJJ.
more than me. I didn't know that.
It's 2, okay.
I mean, I didn't know you had to be a certain rank to promote black belt. It's just black belt's a black belt. I mean, I don't have anybody ready yet, but I think the time it takes you to get that far is why by the time you get somebody to get to a black belt, you'll be another rank.
Yeah,
in
you'll
black
be
belt.
ready
Yeah.
to. That's true. Yeah, like because your development doesn't stop because they're getting ranked
Correct.
over you. That's awesome, man. Like I tell you, Julius, man. Like I'm literally living vicariously through you. I mean, like I've taken one route and stuff, and I still find a way to get jiu-jitsu in and stuff. But like to make it your lifestyle, like truly your lifestyle and your passion and your livelihood is that's a huge risk that you took. And man, I admire that more than anything.
I am humbled, and I will take it with a thank you. I am very humbled by it. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm definitely going to get your BattleNet tag before you leave.
BattleNet tag?
Well, the BattleNet account, so we can do Diablo.
No, but he's not on PC.
I think you can cross-platform there.
No, you can't cross-play. I don't
You
think you
can?
can. No, I don't think you can. I think on 4 you can. They're coming out with Diablo 4, and they might.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know though. I don't
BJJ
know.
and Brews
Well,
and
we'll
Diablo.
have to give it a shot to see. I'll have to give that a shot to see. Oh, we'll have a Twitch channel. That's what we'll do.
Oh, that's
the
true.
BJJ and Brews Twitch channel.
Oh my
And get
God.
subscribers to that. All I'm going to say is, Julius, it's been awesome to get to know you more.
Oh yeah.
You're a delightful human being.
Thank you.
I mean, you really are. And I hope to see you more time on the mat because I love rolling with you. And I have some questions for you offline about that half guard now.
Okay.
That you're showing me. So
Okay.
I want to ask you that before you leave.
Okay.
I have some half guard questions.
Okay.
Chris, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, quick shout out. I swung by. I work out in South Orlando, I guess. I don't know where the hell's Mall Millennia. Is that
Mall-
South?
That's south.
That's south.
Southwest, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. It's southwest. Yeah.
Southwest. I work near Dead Lizard Brewery. I've never had the time nor courage to get in there. I've already taken photos.
Their bottle looks cool.
Their bottle's awesome. I swung in there today, got a growler. It was the key lime creamsicle ale. Creamsicle, excuse me. Delicious. So I hope to be getting a little bit more from them since they're so convenient for me to swing by.
Yeah, Paul just devoured his. We gave Paul.
Yeah, we gave Paul the biggest amount of it, and
he guzzled that down.
within so 3rd degree black belt approved, non-degree black belt approved, 4th stripe blue belt
No,
approved.
only 3 stripes, my man.
No
3 stripe.
3 stripe blue belt approved.
Delicious.
Ale, delicious, awesome. So I'm gonna be heading to you guys a little bit more often. Shout outs, plug it. Where do we find you?
Oh, you guys can find me at Championship Martial Arts on Hoffner and Conway in the Conway area. So you can find me on Instagram at Spartan Mobley, and then
Is it Mobley? I'm sorry, I've been calling you Mobley.
I've done that since I was in grade school. It doesn't.
Okay.
No, but I again, I'm humbled, and thank you guys so much for letting me come over and just share some knowledge with you guys. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much.
It's been our pleasure. Thank you
And
so much.
to all the students that are listening, if you took the time out to come listen to me, I really appreciate it. And
You guys have a website too?
we have a Facebook page, Championship Martial Arts Conway.
Okay.
And then you guys can see all the...
What's the phone number, man? Throw it out there.
Our phone number is 407-859-0591. If you're in the Conway area, please check us out. We do karate, jiu-jitsu, cage fitness. You can give a big old bear hug from me every day, all day. It's going to be there for you.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you guys.